Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto was Supreme King in Yu-Gi-Oh! Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Neostardustdragon 101 and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1. 2 years after the Fourth Great Shinobi War, the shinobi nations have finally settled into a new era of peace, one that would last much longer than all those that had come before, perhaps even forever. All this was possible due to the aspirations of one boy who struggled through many tussles to become the man who saved the world. Naruto Uzumaki. However, despite bringing peace to the once war-hungry nations who desired nothing but to prove superiority to one another, Naruto was not so good at finding his own peace and most of all, happiness. The war had been a long and bloody affair. Many people had lost their lives due to the selfish ambitions of two Uchiha. Madara and Obito. So many things happened during this war. Some were good, some were bad, but what really mattered is that everything that had taken place during the war had taken its toll on those involved. When the infinite Tsukiyomi had been cast, everyone thought it was all over. This is where events took a rather strange turn. The heroes of the war, Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha, soon witnessed Madara's death at the hands of Black Zetsu, who had been secretly working towards the goal of reviving one Kagaya Otsutsuki, progenitor of Chakra and mother of Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the legendary sage of the Six Paths. However, while one would expect this to be a good thing, it turned out to be a terrible happening instead. So, once more, the heroes were forced to fight. After the fight, Sasuke showed his true colors with a desire to kill the 5 cages and start a revolution. He captures the tailed beast in a genjutsu to kill the cages, but Naruto won't let him do that and chases after Sasuke. He manages to gather enough natural chakra to enter Sage mode and creates a new jutsu he called electromagnetic disruption. It allowed him to disrupt the electromagnetic waves in the human brain and causes Sasuke to cancel out his Sharingan. Using this chance, he merged with Kurama and enters his chakra cloak mode. Sasuke activates his Susanoo, but the other tailed beasts lend their aid and give Naruto enough chakra energy to unleash a gigantic tailed beast bomb Rasen Shuriken at Sasuke, which destroys Sasuke's Susanoo and kills him from the chakra explosion. Naruto with a heavy heart killed Sasuke, but smiled knowing that the cages were alive. Tsunade and the others arrived to see what happened and cheered for Naruto, who saved them all. However, despite the cheers and praise, Naruto could not fake the deep pain that filled his heart. "What's wrong, kid?" Kurama the Kyuubi no Kitsune asked his Jinchuriki partner. Over the last 2 years, he had began to notice the changes in Naruto. He seemed more depressed and less energetic than the boy he had grown up in for 18 years. "It's nothing," Kurama Naruto replied, putting on a smile which Kurama could tell was fake. "That's a lie. I've been inside of you for 18 years, I know when you're fine and when you're not, so tell me what's wrong with you," Kurama said, still holding regrets about having to kill the Uchiha boy. "Is that it?" the Kitsune asked as the boy lowered his head at the painful memory. "Look Naruto, you didn't have a choice in the matter, it was either him or you." "I know that, damn it," Naruto shouted back, startling the Biju before he lowered his head once again. "But it's not just that I didn't only fail to save Sasuke, but Neji, Haku, Ino, and Shikamaru's fathers, Granichi and so many others back during the war." Kurama gained a sober look in his eyes, seeing the depression in the young Uzumaki's eyes. Despite everything he had been through, Naruto had always managed to keep that warm smile on his face, but since the war ended, he began to feel that light fade. Even though Naruto acted like nothing bothered him, the boy did have his own insecurities that no one ever truly noticed. Kakashi was just finished writing and submitting his reports about the trade agreements and smaller alliance made between the nations. He was about to grab his new copy of the recently revived Icha Icha series called Icha Icha Chase, written by Jiraiya's protege, Naruto. However, he had a familiar flash in front him, telling him that it was Naruto. He honestly shouldn't have been surprised that Naruto had mastered his sensei's prize technique, especially with the blonde's phenomenal rate of development, amplified by his shadow clone training method. Kakashi smiled at him and greeted him. "Yo Naruto, what brings you here?" "I don't remember having any more reports needed from you," Kakashi asked in a friendly manner. Naruto, however, just got straight to the point. Yeah, I'm here for that. I want to leave the village for a while," Naruto bluntly put it. Kakashi was inwardly shocked. The most loyal shinobi, no, the most dedicated person in the world, wanted to just leave all of a sudden. Kakashi, however, didn't show it and replied. Now Naruto, why do you want to leave? Also, I can't just let you go without a good reason, especially since you are nearly done with your Hokage training," Kakashi replied. Naruto replied, "I'd like to leave due to an excessive amount of stress. Due to the fact I have abused the shadow clone training method, almost destroying my mind." He half told the truth. He wasn't lying. His training had been incredibly taxing on his mental health, but it wasn't anything he could recover from. But with what he had discovered only a few minutes ago, he was pushed over the edge. Kakashi narrowed his eyes, suspecting there was more to it than that, but accepted his reasoning as he had warned his student to relax on the shadow clones. Alright, that's a good reason enough, but how long do you want to be out of the village for? Kakashi asked. Naruto replied, as long as I wish. Kakashi finally let his shock show and questioned him. Naruto. That's quite the leave you are taking. What about the Hokage position? Everybody wants you to take it. Imagine the shock everyone will feel if you just left all of a sudden. Kakashi reasoned. Naruto took a stern look and rebutted, well, I can't be Hokage if I'm brain dead before I even take the job, and like you informed me before I started my training. I must be of great mental condition for the role, which I don't have now. Kakashi sighed in agreement. He couldn't refute that fact, especially with how Naruto had almost lost his cool. Alright, but still, how do you suggest that you leave the village for as long as you desire without becoming a missing nin? Kakashi asked as a test. Naruto simply replied, if you give me Sannin status, then that's possible. Kakashi nodded, alright, here's the forms, just fill it in, and I'll take care of the rest. Naruto thanked his sensei and filled in the form as quickly as he could. The sooner he was out, the better. Kakashi looked at the forms, checking everything was alright. He frowned at the fact that Naruto had written down that he wanted to leave right away but couldn't do anything about. He dismissed Naruto, who just flashed away. Kakashi then looked out the window and thought to himself. What could have broken my student during this time of peace? He wondered. Naruto sealed away the last of his things and looked around the spacious apartment, taking in his surroundings. It would be a while before he would see this place again. It may have been small and shitty, but this place had still been home to him for most of his life, and it was hard to say goodbye. So you're really leaving? A familiar lazy voice spoke up from behind Naruto. The blonde teen turned to see none other than Shikamaru Nara. I guess Kakashi-sensei told you about it? Naruto said with sad smile. Shikamaru shook his head. No, I overheard you guys talking while I was on my way to make a report about the upcoming Chunin exams. And? Why are you leaving, Naruto? Shikamaru questioned. After coming so far and after enduring so much, your dream of finally becoming Hokage is just a few more years away, so why are you leaving now? The Nara clan prodigy couldn't understand why his friend had decided to leave now after so long. I've got things to work out, Naruto replied. The thing I'm sick of this. Of what? Shikamaru asked. I'm just sick of being a shinobi, Naruto said, shocking Shikamaru. When I first started, all I really cared about was gaining acceptance from the villagers and for everyone to see me as my own person instead of the beast that I had within me. And they do now. Everyone's finally accepted you. They acknowledged you as the hero who saved this village, the man who saved the world. So why then, what about Konoha, what about your friends? Shikamaru exclaimed, breaking his usual calm demeanor. That's another thing, Shikamaru, despite all we've been through, I can only count a few people that are actually my friends, Naruto said, surprising Shikamaru. Sure, we fought side by side on the battlefield together and we've celebrated victory, but when you really get down to it, you, Choji, Lee, Sakura, Hinata, you were the only people I could honestly call my friends, but Ino, Tenten, Kiba. Shinoi don't feel that strong of a bond with any of them, Naruto stated, recalling his experiences with the 4 other members of the Konoha 11, and honestly those words would sting some of them to hear this, but what Naruto said was true. Sure, they would invite Naruto come and hang out with them, but it was usually him, Choji, or Neji who asked him. He recalled their days back at the academy when everyone would laugh at Naruto, calling him a brat and nuisance, how everyone would look at Naruto like his was the plague that wasn't a childhood he would wish on anyone. So how long are you planning on leaving? Shikamaru asked. I'm not sure, maybe a few months, maybe years, I don't know. All that I know is that I need a break from this life, Naruto said. Think you can tell the others I said goodbye? Yeah, sure, Shikamaru nodded, but I think there's someone who needs to know about this. Naruto smiled. That's just where I was heading next, Naruto replied, walking past the Nara, patting his shoulder. See you around, Shika. See you, Naruto, Shikamaru said, watching his friend walk away. The young woman was looking up at the moonlit sky. She had flowing midnight blue hair and a Haim-style cut and lavender eyes. This was Hinata Hyuga, the heiress to the prestigious Hyuga clan. A year has gone by since the Fourth Shinobi War came to its end. And yet still she could not find the courage to confront the boy she loved. Could she in honesty claim to really love Naruto? He was the person she had admired for years, ever since that day in the winter when he defended from a group of boys who bullied her for her heritage, calling her a Byakugan monster. That was until Naruto Uzumaki came and defended her. Since then Hinata had gained these strong, unwavering feelings of admiration and respect for the hyperactive blonde boy, and over time those feelings finally grew into love. But now, after finally confessing to him, she still hadn't managed to confront him about it. The events of the war and the death of her beloved older brother Neji had all come so fast it made sense to why she had not brought up the subject to him. But despite that, she started to have her own doubts about those feelings. She did truly care for Naruto, he was the most important in the world to her, and she was willing to give up her life for him, but still was she worthy of his love during their time growing up. Hinata was also a part of Naruto's suffering, despite not being one of the people who would laugh and bully him, she never made the efforts to go out and try to be his friend. Naruto, Hinata whispered, clenching her chest, feeling the ache in her heart. She was brought out of her thoughts when she heard a soft knock on her window. Beep. Hinata squealed with flushed cheeks at the sight of Naruto sitting on her outside her window ledge with a warm smile on his face, waving to Hinata. Hinata looked around to make sure no one was around before she opened the window, allowing the Uzumaki inside her room. "Then Naruto, what are you doing here?" Hinata asked. "Welly, I came to talk to you about something," Naruto said, rubbing the back of his head. What is it?" Hinata asked. "Hinata, I'm going to be leaving the Leaf Village for a while, and I'm not sure when I'll be back," Naruto stated, shocking Hinata as he hands covered her mouth to hold back. Naruto was leaving the village, leaving his friends, leaving her. But why are you leaving?" Hinata asked. Naruto lowered his head. "Truth is, I want a break for the life of a shinobi," Naruto said, placing his hand on his forehead. "Lately I've been haunted by all of the people who I've seen die, friends and enemies alike, he just can't handle it anymore." Naruto said, biting his quivering lip as he felt his body begin to shake. "I know all of this is a part of the shinobi life, but that still doesn't make it any easier for me to accept it." Naruto, Hinata whispered her crush's name, surprised that Naruto had been feeling this way. Tears began to build up in Naruto's eyes. "I know how this sounds, like I'm just being a big crybaby, some stupid kid who hasn't accepted the reality of life, that I'm just ignoring the sacrifices of everyone who gave up their lives for me." Naruto's words were cut off as Hinata embraced him from behind. It's okay that you feel the way you do. Truth is, I feel the same way," Hinata said. "When I think back to all the horrible things that happened in our lives, the Sound invasion, Pain's attack on the village, the war, so many things that we were forced to endure, there were so many times I wanted to just give up. But thought it all, there was one thing that always gave me hope, even when things seemed to be at their darkest," Hinata said, laying her head in Naruto's shoulder. "And that was you, Naruto. You've always been the person to give me strength. That admiration I had for you eventually blossomed into love." Memories of the Pain battle ran through the mind of both young shinobi. "But despite that, he was never there for you when you needed someone to be your strength. I was such a coward and wasn't there for you when you truly needed me. I may have jumped into the fight against Pain to save you, but I should have done that far sooner when we were children and you were bullied and picked on by the village. I was just a scared little girl who was never brave enough to say what was on her mind," Hinata said as tears began to fall from her eyes. "How can I say that I love you if I was never there for you?" Hinata felt her body turn and Naruto's arms wrapping around her. "Hinata, you were the first person in my life to ever tell me those words. You have no idea how much that meant to me. Despite everything that happened, hearing those words made me so happy. You're not the only one to blame. I'm just as much to blame for ignoring you," Naruto said. "But the truth is, growing up alone, I never really understood what love meant." "You didn't?" Hinata said. Naruto shook his head. "I always thought loving a girl was the same thing as loving ramen. I never had anyone to teach me what that meant," Naruto said. "It wasn't until I began to train to master Kurama's power and met my mother and heard about how she fell in love with my dad and how they gave up their lives to save mine that I finally started to understand what that really meant, to care about someone so strongly that when they're happy you're happy. When they're afraid you want to make their fears go away, and when they're in pain you want to make the ones who hurt them suffer." Naruto pulled away from the embrace to look Hinata in the eyes. "Both of us have been put through a lot in our lives, and I want to explore these new feelings with you." Shimmering blue met gleaming lavender as the two teens' gaze met. "I'm not sure how long this journey will be, but, Hinata, do you think you can wait for this idiot a bit longer?" Before had any time to react, he felt the warm tingle of Hinata's lips press against his, sending a shivering tingle down his back. The kiss was longer, passionate, just simple and innocent. Hinata soon pulled away, smiling warmly at her long-time crush. "For you, Naruto, I can wait forever," Hinata promised, "and I never go back on my word, that is. My ninja way," both of them said at the same time, resulting in brief laughter between the two of them. "I love Naruto," Hinata said with a smile. "Hinata, I can't say those words to you just yet, but I promise you I will someday," Naruto said, smiling, the two of them leaning forward into another kiss, the moon shining above them. Naruto stood at the village gate. Standing in front of the gateway was someone he had been expecting, Sakura Haruno. "So you're leaving now?" Sakura asked. "Yep. Did you do what I told you?" Sakura asked, raising a brow, the smile on his face. All the answer she needed. "Good, don't go messing things up with her." "I won't, that's a promise," Naruto said as Sakura walked over to him and embraced him in a tight hug. "Take care of yourself, Baka," Sakura said before breaking the embrace, allowing Naruto to make his way out of the village. This was the second time she'd had to watch someone important to her leave the village, but unlike with Sasuke, she knew that Naruto would come home someday. Naruto soon came to a stop deep in the forest outside of Konoha. It was a place surrounded by clam grassy plants, and even a lake where people could enjoy a swim in the center of the area was what appeared to be the charred remains of a small sheikh, reduced to little more than a funeral pyre. Laying out in front of the ashes were 5 sets of stones, severing as graves. Naruto walked up to each on placing a bouquet of flowers onto each grave. "Hey guys," Naruto said with a sad smile on his face, "I'm sorry I've taken so long to visit you, but I've been kept busy lately. I've come to tell you guys that I'm leaving again, and I'm not sure when I'll be back." The young Jinchuriki clenched his hand into a tight fist, "But I promise you all that I'll make our dream come to reality," Naruto vowed with unwavering determination before his eyes fell on one last grave, one he looked at with the same saddened eyes he had when he faced Sasuke. "Man, my brother, I am so sorry for that day. Yugioh want to let you know that the village has changed now, just like I believed they would, and mom and dad, they loved us enough that they would give their lives for us. I hope they get to meet you in the afterlife. They were both sorry for not being there for us, and even more that you died. I am so sorry for what I did that night," Naruto said, biting his trembling lip as he looked down at the grave in front of him. "I hope that somehow, in some way, you found peace," Naruto said before kneeling in front of the graves and giving a bow before he made his way out the forest, unaware that the stone in center began to crack. As Naruto was making his way through the forest when he suddenly feels something vibrating from within one of his scrolls. It was a black scroll with a red swirl-like design. This was scroll he had been given by his mother and their families well after the war ended, and Naruto's heritage discovered he found his parents had left him with several family heirlooms. As Naruto unleashed the scroll to reveal a black book with a golden eye-like symbol surrounding it was the symbol of the Uzumaki clan. From what he had learned from his mother, it was an Uzumaki clan treasure passed down through the generations dating to Naruto's ancestor, who had wed a princess from a land known as Egypt. Ever since he first received it, he knew there was something special about book, something that enchanted him. Something magical. Naruto looked closely at the symbol and recognized as the Millennium symbol from ancient Egypt. Over his childhood, Naruto had developed a great fascination with Egypt and its culture. He couldn't explain why he was so drawn to it, just felt right to him, as if by some hidden instinct. "Naruto, I can sense a great power dwellings within that book," Kurama said, catching the boy's attention as Naruto slowly peeled the cover up from the book and was engulfed in bright flash of light. Naruto slowly began to open his eyes as he awoke and found himself lying on some grass. He got up and saw a magnificent and peaceful landscape, a huge waterfall and lake, and grass and trees were as far as the eye could see. "Wow, so this is heaven," Naruto said. "I guess, the waterfall is a nice touch." Naruto heard a voice and looked down to see a cute tiny fox. "What, don't you recognize me, kid? Think Chibi Kurama?" "Kurama, is that you?" Naruto asked as he kneeled down to get a better view. "Yup, it's me," he said as Naruto then burst out laughing and rolled back and forth on the grass. "Oh my god. You look so adorable," Naruto said laughing and poking at the tiny 9-tailed fox. Then Kurama bit his finger hard. "Ow. Ha, that's what you get, kid, for laughing at the almighty Kurama," Kurama said. "Why, you two make an odd duo." A new voice spoke Naruto, and the 9-tails turned and saw a man dressed in the cloth similar to an Egyptian pharaoh. "Who are you?" Naruto asked as the man walked over to him. "Greetings, I am Atem, and I have been watching you a very long time." Naruto, the man known as Atem, said. "How did I get here? Last thing I remember, I was reading from that book and as suddenly a light flashed and I wound up here," Naruto said, recounting the events. "Yes, you are now inside the Millennium Spell Book, an ancient artifact that was given from me to my son Arashi Uzumaki and now has been passed down to you," Naruto, Atem said. "Then what's going on?" Naruto, "So you know the story of duel monsters?" Atem asked. "Of course I do," Naruto said with excitement. Naruto loved the game of duel monsters since he was young. He had spent many of his time Skyping class to learn all he could about. Atem looked into Naruto's eyes and saw a deep fire and passion for the game of duel monsters, one he had not seen since he met his old partner and best friend Yugioh. "Well, Naruto, why you are here ties directly with it," Atem said as he, Naruto and Kurama soon found themselves within an endless void. "You see, Naruto, your world is connected to the older times of duel monster, but in another world, the world is split into 4 separate dimensions." "Separate dimensions?" Naruto questioned. Yugi nodded and waved his hand to reveal 4 orbs, each representing one of the 4 worlds. Long ago, these 4 worlds were joined as one, but then a great catastrophe befell them which caused the world to be broken into the standard, fusion, synchro, and Ziz dimensions. Yugi explained. Naruto knew those were each a different form of summoning technique used in the game of duel monsters. Though they began as one split world, they eventually became their own signal separate world and lived in Pasuntal, a place known as Academia, in one the 4 summoning dimensions. Its goal is to unite the dimensions and rule over them, Yugi said suddenly within a flash of light. He and Naruto stood before an glorious city that people walking around the streets with smiles, children playing duel monsters with joy and happiness. A large tower with a heart at the top stood proudly for all to see. What is this place? Naruto asked, looking around with utter amazement. This is Heartland, a city that was once happy and filled with smiles and laughter, however, Yugi said solemnly as they were engulfed in another flash of light, and Naruto's eyes widened, but this time in horror as they stood before a ruined Heartland city. He watched as people ran screaming through the streets, as an army of mechanical giants marched through the streets, the citizens became engulfed in bright violet light and were changed into cards. What the hell is this? Naruto shouted, gritting his teeth in rage. Academia attacked the city, sealing the inhabitants of this city into cards to use their life force for their plans, Yugi said before lowering his head. Not one person was spared, men, women, children, all taken. Naruto clenched his hands into tight fist as anger filled his body. How could they do this to innocent people who had done no wrong and were enjoying peaceful lives? Du won't let them get away with this. Naruto declared with his fist clenched tightly as a red flaming aura surrounded his body. His eyes soon began to change. His left eye became green, while his right was red with slits. The millennium symbol appeared on his forehead. Atem smiled, seeing the determination and conviction within the boy's eyes. This boy truly had what it took to end this war, for he had the heart of a true pharaoh. Naruto soon watched as 3 more beams of light shot down from the sky, revealing 3 more young men beside Atem. "Hey, my name's Jaden Yuki," the first guy introduced himself with a carefree smile. "My name is Yusei Fudo," the second guy followed the first's lead, but did so with a small smile. "And I'm Yuma Tsukumo." The youngest of the 3 followed suit, more cheerfully than the other 2 and with a wide grin. "It's nice to meet you guys, my name's Naruto," Naruto says with a smile, always willing to make possible new friends. "We know who you are, Atem told us all about you and your world," Yusei said, surprising Naruto. "Oh, okay, so why are you guys here?" Naruto asked, growing more confused. The 4 men shared a glance at each other before nodding. The 4 men surrounded Naruto as they each became engulfed in a bright light. Yugi's purple, Jaden red, Yusei green and Yuma blue. They soon transformed into orbs of light surrounding Naruto. "By the power of the 4 kings, we pass on to you our wisdom, our power, and all that we have come to know. We shall share our skills with you when you fight, and you'll use this power to do what is right. We pass on to you the power of the king," the 4 chanted as the orbs entered into Naruto's body. The young Jinchuriki felt a grand surge of power run through his body. As he felt the new power surging through his body, Naruto found himself in a world of pure white emptiness. "So you're Naruto Uzumaki?" A new voice spoke from behind Naruto, causing the boy to turn around as his eyes widened to the sight of a young man with wild red hair, with spiked golden crest, like highlights, and had yellow eyes. He wore a long black jacket with blue and red trimmings, and in a red t-shirt and matching black pants, but what shocked Naruto most of all was his facet was the same as his. "Who are you?" Naruto questioned. "My name is Kazuma Ryuga, and you could say we are in a way the same person," Kazuma said. "I once lived in the time before the 4 dimensions were split apart. I lived there in peace with my younger brother and our parents." "Once live, does that mean that you're?" Naruto questioned, getting a confirming nod from Kazuma. "Yes, and the one regret I had was not being able to protect my brother." "Naruto, can you do this one request, protect my brother in my place?" Kazuma asked. Naruto was surprised by this sudden request, but smiled. "I promise you, I will," Naruto said. "So what's your brother's name?" "His name is Ark." Chapter 2, New World. Naruto slowly began to open his eyes and soon found himself looking up at a white ceiling, and in an instant Naruto knew exactly where he was. A hospital. "Great, a hospital, I hate hospitals," Naruto thought when he suddenly heard a voice. "That's only because they don't serve ramen kit," the voice spoke, causing Naruto's eyes to widen. "Kurama, is that you?" Naruto asked with a smile. "The one and only," the fox Brit replied. Naruto got up from the hospital bed and noticed that on the dresser were a set of cloths which he could only guess were his. He put them on and then looked in the mirror. He was wearing a black sleeveless top with orange lining and a raised collar over an orange short-sleeved t-shirt with matching black pants and shinobi sandals. Around his neck rested the first Hokage's necklace. He also noticed that his hair had gotten longer and now reached to his upper back. Also, the biggest shock was that his left eye had become red with a slit similar to when he tapped into Kurama's chakra. Naruto soon heard the door unlock and turned to see a red-haired nurse walk into the room. When she saw Naruto was up, she looked surprised. Naruto was surprised that the woman was looking at him in disbelief. "Is something on my face or something?" Naruto said to the nurse. The woman shook her head. "No, I'm just surprised that you're awake already. You were found laying in front of the hospital about 3 days ago in a terrible condition. You had cuts and injuries over your body and terrible scars," she said, causing Naruto to grip the spot where Naruto had struck him with the Chidori. "The doctors expected you to be out for a while longer." Naruto chuckled sheepishly and he rubbed the back of his head. "Well, I do heal fast," Naruto said, "so does this mean I'm free to go?" The woman looked around Naruto to see if he had fully recovered. She saw no injuries on him and stepped back. "You seem to fully recover, so you can leave now," the woman said to Naruto. Naruto thanked the woman and before he even knew it, Naruto rushed out of the hospital and was outside. The moment Naruto was out of the hospital, he immediately was amazed at the city he was in and all the places. Naruto walked throughout the large city taking in the sights. While he was walking along a sidewalk, he came across a TV store showing the news. From there he was able to find out the city's name, Paradise City. Along with that, they learned about a new form of dueling, action duels. From what they got from the TV, it seemed to involve solid holograms of monsters that help you move around in an action field, which looked like bigger and more solid versions of field spells. Naruto started walking again to look around again, till he heard someone said from behind him, "Hey, you stop right there. What are you doing here, young man?" A stern male voice said. Naruto turned and was met with a man who was wearing a sort of officer suit. "You must love being in trouble," the man said. "What did I do wrong?" Naruto asked nervously. "You are sitting here, lollygagging around, when you should be in school," the stern man said. This caused Naruto's eyes to bug out at a word he had long since thought he would never hear again. "Wait, SC school." Naruto yelled before being dragged off by the officer. Kurama laughed as Naruto struggled and pleaded to get out of the man's grip. There were 3 things Naruto hated more than anything: veggies, hospitals, and most importantly schools. 10 minutes later. The man dragged Naruto to a school building called Paradise Prep School, so he assumed this was the name of the school. He then dragged Naruto into a classroom, pushing him in. He straightened himself up and looked at the teacher that was looking at him with a mad look on his face. "What do you have to say for yourself?" the teacher said to Naruto. Naruto put on a nervous smile. "Sorry, I didn't know school was today," Naruto said to the teacher, causing the class's students to laugh at his response. The teacher sighs. "You must be new, so I'll let you off this time, but don't let this happen again," the teacher said as Naruto nodded. "Please introduce yourself," the teacher instructed as Naruto and the others nodded and turned to face the class. "Hello, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. It's a pleasure meet you all," Naruto said with a foxy smile, causing many of the girls in the classroom to look at every student, only to stop dead when he saw 2 students that caught his eye. The first was a boy his age. He had duels colored green and crimson hair of average length, sticking out in downwards pointing spikes all around his head, and a pair of golden goggles with orange lenses, with a blue star obscuring the right one on his forehead, and crimson eyes. He is wearing a simple red shirt with a thick silvery buckled brown belt over it, green pants with pockets on each leg, and magenta shoes, as well as crimson wristbands. He also wears a gold and red lined white school jacket over his shoulders like a cape. He also has a pendant and a buckle choker around his neck, but what really surprised Naruto was his face looked like his. The next was a girl. She had dark pink hair which were tied up in pigtails, clipped down by blue spherical hair clips, with blue eyes. Her outfit consists of a sleeveless light blue and white shirt with a musical note on the right collar, along with a red tie, which she wears with a dark red skirt and dark stockings and pink shoes. She also has a bracelet that has a red jewel on her right wrist, and to Naruto's shock, she looked just like Hinata. "Alright then, you can take the seat next, Mr. Sakaki," the teacher instructed as Naruto nodded and made his way to his assigned seat beside the boy dual-haired boy. 2 hours later. Naruto yawned, cracking his neck from boredom since he hadn't been in school in so long. He was just glad that it was finally over for the day. He had a good day, did lots of school work and sports, but now he knew what Sasuke had gone through with fangirls. He had also made a new friend in Yaya, who he discovered was a duelist as well, but he was special type of duelist called an entertainment duelist, who used dueling to entertain the audience using actions duels. Along with them were a trio of kids: a girl with dark red hair, a blue-haired boy that looks like he is knowledgeable, and a chubby boy. They were talking with another teenage boy with short brown and blonde hair, styled in layers, wearing the male school uniform. The boy was putting off a polite smile that Naruto could tell was fake. "Wonder what they are talking about," Naruto said before he got closer to hear what they were talking about. "The Leo duel field is ready for your pendulum summoning, so please follow me," the boy said as Yaya and his friends followed. Naruto's eyes widened at the mention of pendulum summoning. Up till now he didn't think anyone even knew about it. He sensed his pocket vibrate and pulled out his odd eyes. "What's wrong with Odd Eyes, does he sense something?" Naruto said, looking over to the group and decided to follow after them. Naruto followed them in secret to a big building called Leo Duel School. It was a really big building that it looked more like a tower than a building. Naruto saw then enter a duel field where 3 more Leo students were waiting. Naruto couldn't hear the conversation they were having, but he could still see what they were doing. Naruto saw Yaya bring out 2 cards that he guessed were his pendulum cards and growled when he saw the blonde and brown hair boy snatch the other boy's cards. "I knew that guy was scum," Naruto thought to himself. Naruto watched as the guy that took the cards and say that this was a trap and wanted to duel against Yaya. When that guy's friends took Yaya's friends hostage, Naruto had enough and stood up from his hiding spot and did a high jump, landing right beside Yaya. "Naruto, what are you doing here?" Yaya asked his new friend, who looked back at him with a smirk. "I followed you, I had a feeling this guy was bad news and looks like I was right," Naruto said, glaring at the boy. "You're a pathetic excuse for a duelist," Naruto said, earning a glare from the boy. "Excuse me," the boy shouted at the blonde sage. "To steal someone else's cards, then take his friends hostage and force him into a duel. You have no honor or deserve to be called a duelist," Naruto said, pointing at the boy who stood against everything Yugi and the others had taught him about dueling and the heart of the cards. The blonde and brown-haired boy was pissed off. "Do you have any idea who you're taking to? I'm Satoru. Satoru, an elite duelist of Leo Duel School," the boy called Satoru said, doing a stupid pose. "If you're a so-called elite duelist, then you shouldn't have a problem dueling against me as well," Naruto said, surprising everyone again. "Why should I duel you? I have no reason to," Satoru said. "That's easy, Yaya is my friend and I always help my friends," Naruto said, looking over to Yue. "Right, Yaya," he said, smiling at the young man who appeared shocked but soon returned the smile and nodded. "Fine, then I'll take great pleasure in humiliating both of you," Satoru said. Satoru then snapped his fingers, calling for an action field. "Try this action field, the tower prison of the Dark Town." Satoru called out the whole duel field, then changed to the action field that Satoru said. Naruto watched as the entire arena began to change around. Farm chains appeared around Yuzu and the others, causing them to scream. A large tower sprung from the ground beneath them, and a moment later all 4 of them were at the top of the tower. "The princesses needs to be locked up in a tower, don't you think?" Satoru said with a smirk as Naruto and Yaya glared at him. "Yuzu!" Yaya shouted as he jumped from building to building. As he moved towards the bridge, the tower and bridge began to grow to the point Yuzu and the kids were too far to reach. "What's going on here?" Futashi said, scared. "Even though this is a hologram, it also has real matter, so if we fall we could really get hurt or worse," Tetsuya said with worry, causing Futashi to close his eyes in fear. They all began to scream as the tower suddenly came to a stop, reaching as high as the clouds. "If you want to save your friends then you too have to defeat me," Satoru taunted as he activates his duel, revealing a green blade. "Satoru!" Yaya snarled as he put a red duel disc, revealing a yellow blade. Naruto brought his right arm, which was engulfed in a power crimson light, forcing both Yaya and Satoru to cover their eyes. When the light cleared, Naruto's arm was covered by an armored gauntlet in the form of a black bracelet with a jewel on top of the palm area. His fingers were the only thing uncovered. The jewel began to glow, producing a scimitar curved orange blade with matching orange markings appearing on around the gauntlet. "Alright, it's time to duel," Naruto said with an anxious grin before he turned to Yaya, who was looking up at the tower with a worried expression. He walked up to the other boy and placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Don't worry, Yaya, we'll win this duel and save you friends," Naruto said, which seemed to lift Yaya's spirits. "Yeah, you're right, thanks Naruto," Yaya said. He then looked at Naruto's duel disc and noticed he didn't have a deck on. "Naruto, where's your deck?" "Huh, what do you mean?" "It's right here," Naruto said, confused before he pointed at the jewel in the center of his palm. Suddenly the duel disc began to show blue deck holograms all around him, shocking Yaya, Satoru and the others before they all disappeared, returning to the jewel, and 5 cards appeared in Naruto's hand. "What in the world type of duel disc is that? Just who is this guy?" Satoru thought in shock before calming down and turning to his cronies. "Boys, kick us off with the oath." "The oath?" Naruto asked. "Yeah, before you begin an action duel you need to say the oath," Yaya explained. Naruto was surprised as he'd never had to do such things when he dueled in Konoha. But that said, the 3 minions of Satoru began to say the action duel oath. "These duelists have gathered here in this fortress of battle. The first boy. They're gonna kick up dirt with their monsters and Naruto through the air. The second. As they run through the field. The third. Behold, for this is the latest evolution of dueling. Action." The 3 said together. "Duel." Naruto, Yaya and Satoru said in unison as they drew their 5 cards and life points reached 4,000. Naruto. 4,000. Yaya. 4,000. Satoru. 8,000. "Wait, why are your life points higher?" Yaya asked as Satoru chuckled. "Well, it's only fair since it's 2 against 1, I should have some kind of handicap," Satoru said with a smirk. Naruto chuckled. "Fine by me, you'll need all the help you can get," Naruto smirked as Satoru growled. I'll take the first turn. Yaya said as past Saitari, who looked at him with a smirk. Yaya ran up the stairs of the building before placing a card on his duel disc. I now summon Performable Whip VIPER 1700-900, Yaya said, appearing beside him with a fierce hiss, was a 3-foot-long violet snake sporting a black top hat, polka dot bow tie, and an orange star tattoo on its face. The snake opened its mouth to reveal its 4 sharp fangs and its twisty tongue. Let's go Whip Viper, Yaya said, holding out his arm. Whip Viper then wrapped himself around his arm and Yaya. He then walked over to a window and threw out Whip Viper, using him to swing over to other building. Yaya's really good at working with his monsters, and I can sense they have a strong bond, Naruto thought as he watched Yaya use Whip Viper to get over the other building. Naruto smirked, not wanting to be outdone, and ran right after Yaya at great speed, appearing as a yellow flash until he was running beside Yaya. What speed? Yaya gasped, seeing Naruto's speed. It's my turn, I draw. Naruto said as the jewel shined and generated a card for Naruto to draw. I summoned Iris Magician 1500-1000. Appearing on the field was a young man with long straight dark hair tied back in a ponytail. His right eye was red, while his left eye was green, and atop his head was a red conical hat with a blue gemstone on the front and a small yellowish-white blade on each side, like a pair of horns. His outfit consisted of thick red, black and gray armor with large blue gems fitted into the shoulders hanging down around his waist, was a long ornate red and black armored shirt, and hanging from his back was a red cape with a black underside. He had a pair of black fingerless gloves on his hands, and in his right hand was a red and gold sword with a guard decorated to look like it had red and green eyes. Wow, that's a pretty cool monster, Yaya said, impressed. It's my turn now. Saitari said as he draws. Saitari looked over his hand and smiled, seeing Time Gazer Magician. He was about to play the card only to stop. Not yet, wait for the other magician. A voice spoke up, causing Saitari to flinch a little, recognizing the voice of Ryuji. Yes sir, Saitari said with a sweat before picking another card. I summon Lighting HOVERBOARD 1400-1200 in attack mode. Appearing on Saitari field was a dartboard in the jaws of a demonic skull. Jetting out lightning, it flew and stopped in front of Saitari, jumped on it riding after his opponents. Feeling desperate, Yaya? Saitari taunted before turning to Naruto. You're not so tough. Naruto glared at arrogant duelist when he noticed Yaya looking about to pick up an action card which appeared similar to a regular card, but with an A on it. However, Naruto sensed something was wrong with that card. Yaya, don't pick up that card. Naruto yelled, but it was too late. Why? Yaya asked before Saitari appeared on his screen. That's right, that's the action trap card, Break Shot. It decreases your monster's attack points by 900, Saitari explained. Naruto watched as large pool balls started to roll over towards him. Naruto winced, his teammate was run over, while Whip Viper was FLATTENED 1700 800 900s. Ow, that's gotta hurt, ow, that's gotta hurt, Naruto and Kurama said in unison. Whip Viper. Yaya yelled with worry, walking over to his comically flattened monster. What a rookie mistake, whenever you pick up an action card there is always a risk, Saitari said smugly, while Naruto glared. A scream caught Naruto's attention, and he looked up to the tower. That collision, however, caused the tower to shake, making the other 4 on top of it to lose their balance. A little Futashi then fell down. He then noticed to his horror that the tower began to lean to one side, which caused him to slide towards the edge. I'm falling. I'm falling. Yuzu heard him scream and saw that he was about to go over the edge. Futashi. Yuzu shouted, holding onto the boy's legs. Save me please. Futashi cried in fear as he saw how far down it was. Hang on Futashi, Yuzu yelled, holding onto the chubby boy, while Ayu leaned her head against Yuzu's arm. I'm scared, Yuzu Nichin. Ayu cried, tears welling in her eyes. Hang on tight, Futashi. Yayanis-san and his friend Naruto will surely save us, so please hang on, Tatsuya said, trying to ease his friend's fears, but Futashi continued to cry, but was relieved as they slowly pulled him up. Saitari looked around the field before a smirk appeared on his face and soared over to a nearby building and snatched an action card. I activate the action card, instant attack. This lets my monster attack you right now. Saitari laughed, shocking both Naruto and Yaya. Yaya looked around until he spotted another action card. He was about to pick it up when a queen appeared. Yaya looked up to see Naruto, who shook his head. Yaya then realized that it had to be another action trap. Darts of lighting shot out from the hoverboard, hitting Whip Viper, blowing it into dust, forcing Yaya to cover his EYES. Yaya. 4,400. Yaya, you okay? Naruto said, running over to his friend. I'm okay, but we need to save them, Yaya said, looking at the tower. If you want to do something, then show me how to pendulum summon, Saitari said from behind them, and if you do, I may save your friends. I'll never get to them on foot, so Yaya thought before seeing a card in his hand. I summon Performable Skeeter SKIMMER 500 500s. Yaya said. A monster with 6 spindly gloved limbs shot forth from one orange body, 3 on each side. The monster's bushy blue eyebrows fell and rose as it blinked through the eyeglasses resting above its proboscis. It had a built-in gondola on its back above a blue bow tie appeared. Is this kid's deck some kind of circus troupe? Kurama thought with a sweat drop as Yaya off on the water. Well Uzumaki, it's your turn. Hope it's a decent one, Satori taunted as Naruto drew his card. Oh, you'll see, monkey boy. Naruto said as he drew his card and smiled, seeing it was one of the cards he needed. I summon the tuner monster White Wing Magician 1600-1400. Naruto said. Materializing on the field was a young woman with fair skin, straight shoulder-length pink hair, and blue eyes. Atop her head was a blue and white conical hat that had a silver blade on each side and a transparent green section on the front part of the brim. The young woman had on a white and black dress with blue armor covering her chest. Part of the dress consisted of a pair of baggy blue and black sleeves and 2 white hoops around her shoulders. Around her waist was a large round blue and white skirt with transparent green sections on the front and back. The rest of the pinkette's outfit consisted of a pair of blue high-heeled shoes with black thigh-high stockings that had blue armor covering the knees and 3 sections of white armor on each of her lower legs. On her back was a pair of green transparent wings, and in her right hand, she held a thin green wand that had an elaborate white, blue and black crest at the top with 4 green wing-like blades on each side. A pendulum tuner monster. That's not possible. Satori shouted. It can, and it is. Naruto said, smirking as both his monsters took to the sky. And now I'll tune both my level 4 monsters together. Naruto declared as White Wing became 4 green rings of light surrounding Breaker. Clustering wishes will become a new shining star. Become the path its light shines upon. Naruto chanted as a pillar of light exploded behind him. Take flight, Stardust Dragon 2500 2000. The light faded after a moment to reveal a silvery white dragon with magnificent wings and well-developed arms and legs. Its head ended in a 3-pointed crest, and at the end of its snout was a long horn. As the dragon flapped its wings, sparkling green light showered down onto the field. Yaya and the others were mesmerized at the sight of the beautiful dragon soaring through the sky. Stardust Dragon, Yaya said in awe. He had heard and read about this legendary monster, but he'd never thought he'd see it in his life. So beautiful. Yuzu and Ayu gasped at the sight of the beautiful dragon. Tetsuya and Futashi were also entranced by Stardust. Meanwhile, in an unknown place, there was an alarm showing the summoning method name President. We detected a very high summoning energy coming from that boy synchro monster, a male worker explained. How high is the summoning energy? A man wearing glasses and a red scarf and had silver hair, blue shirt and white long pants said, sitting on a chair facing the screen that had synchro on it. The summoning energy is as strong as pendulum energy, a female worker answered to the man with silver hair. The young man looked interested with what the female worker said. Show me all the information of the duelist that just used synchrothy, man said. The screen changed to an information page that showed a picture of Naruto, but the only thing it showed was Naruto's name and his age. What the hell, there is no information on this guy, a man said standing next to the young man. The young man looked surprised that there was nothing on Naruto, but he shook his head to get rid of his surprise. The screen then changed back to the duel, so the young man could see what else Naruto could do. Back to the duel. How does a nobody like you get a legendary rare card like that? Satori shouted as Naruto smirked. Okay Stardust, take out that hoverboard. Shooting Sonic. Naruto said as Stardust unleashed a stream of silver energy toward Satori. The LDS student looked around frantically before smirking at the nearby action card. The beam was drawing closer and Satori just barely was able to grab the action card. I activate the action card evasion. This card not only negates your attack but ends the battle phase. That's a lucky move, but not as good as this. I activate the double or nothing. This card not only lets my dragon attack you again, but it does with double the attack strength. Naruto explained, shocking Satori. Stardust roared as it unleashed another blast. Satori narrowly evaded the attack and jumped off the hoverboard, running into a nearby alley and picking up an action card. I activate the action card. Miracle, this card saves my monster and halves the damage. Satori declared as a barrier protected his monster. Satori. 8000-6200. I said one card and end my turn. Naruto finished as a reverse card appears in front of him. Naruto, that was amazing, you nearly took out half his life points on your first move, Yaya said, amazed with his new friend's skills, causing Naruto to blush a bit. Haha, well, I had some amazing teachers, Naruto said before his face became serious. Will talks about that later. Right now we need to save your friends, Naruto said, looking up at the collapsing tower. Yaya's eyes widened and nodded. The tag team then proceeded towards the tower. Satori rose from nursing a bump on his head. That blonde runt us gonna pay. No one humiliates me and gets away with it. Satori thought with rage before drawing his card. My turn now, draw, Satori said as he drew his card before he looked at it. When Satori saw what it was he started laughing. Yaya and Naruto looked at Saotari, confused at why he was laughing. "What's so funny?" Yaya said, looking at Saotari. "I'm laughing because I'm about to get a perfect 0. Finisher in this turn," Saotari said, smirking. "What do you mean?" Yaya said, confused. "Heads up, Yaya, we're about to find out," Naruto called out to Yaya. Saotari then slotted the card he drew into his dual disc fist. "I'll tribute my level 4 lighting hoverboard to activate my spell card, tribute trade. And then, I can add a monster that's one level higher than the tributed monster from my deck to my hand. I chose the level 5, Stargazer Magician." Saotari said as his hoverboard disappeared in a yellow glow and a card slotted out of his deck before he showed the card to Naruto and Yaya. Naruto looked at the card Saotari had and his eyes widened. "That's a pendulum card," Naruto thought with shock. My Stargazer Magician," Yaya said, gasping in surprise, causing Naruto to think that card was one of his stolen cards. "It's my Stargazer Magician and one of my pendulum cards," Yaya Saotari said, smirking at Yaya. Naruto glared at Saotari when he said that card doesn't belong to you, Saotari, it belongs to Yaya. Naruto called out to Saotari. "That card doesn't belong to you, Saotari, it belongs to Yaya," Naruto called out to Saotari with rage at this pathetic excuse of a duelist. "Be quiet, you little pest." Saotari replied he was gonna beat Yaya with my pendulum summoning, but I changed my mind, Saotari said, shouting at Naruto. "Saotari," a voice said from a small microphone in Saotari's right ear, causing him to start sweating. Naruto also heard the voice thanks to his Crimson Dragon powers. "Mr. President, forgive me, I use the pendulum summoning on Yaya right now," Saotari whispered to the microphone. "No, use the pendulum summoning on your other opponent, I want to see what else he can do," Ryuji replied on the microphone said. "Understood, Mr. President," Saotari said before he looked back at Naruto. Naruto glared at Saotari. "Set the pendulum scale. I use my scale 1 Stargazer Magician." The voice on the microphone said to Saotari, and secretly Naruto heard it. I use my scale 1 Stargazer Magician." Saotari started as Naruto narrowed his eyes, preparing for the summon with his Synchro Dragon. "No way. To think that someone other than me." Yaya started, leaving Naruto to glance at his partner. "Yaya?" Naruto whispered, feeling concerned for the partner as he looked back at Saotari. "And my scale 8 Timegazer Magician," the voice on the little microphone said, forcing the duelist to follow along. "And my scale 8 Timegazer Magician," Saotari said, coping the voice with that done. The two pendulum cards were slapped on both edges of the green blade dual disc. The word pendulum appeared, creating two pillar of lights, with Timegazer Magician appearing on the left with scale 8 and Stargazer Magician on the right with scale 1. "I pendulum summon," the voice and Saotari said at the same together. At the call, 3 lights appeared out of the portal as 3 monsters were summoned out to the field. First is the level 5 power dart striker, a monster in orange armor with an arm that was a shooter that fired darts appeared on the field, 1800-700. Saotari then held up his hand, and next is the level 6 rocket dart striker, a monster in red armor with wings on its back with 3 shooters as fingers on one hand appeared on the field as well, 1900-100. Saotari then held up his hand, and finally the level 7 ultimate dart striker, a monster with blue armor who had an arm that looked like a long blaster, appeared on the field as well, 2400-300. Saotari looked at his monsters amazed. "Wow, awesome. This is so awesome. Pendulum summoning rocks just as much as I do," Saotari said before he laughed intensely. Yaya on the other hand couldn't believe his eyes. "You're kidding me?" He pulled it off on his very first try just like that. "You mean to tell me that he understands the summoning method that is unique to me better than I do?" Yaya said, lowering his head. "Yaya?" Yuzu said with worry. She knew that Saotari managed to pull off a pendulum summoning on his first try, must have messed a bit with Yaya's head, she just hoped that it wouldn't make him do mistakes. "And now that I can pendulum summon myself, I have no more need for you or your friend," Saotari said, looking over at Naruto. "Now I'll activate the action card Dart Bullet, giving my monsters an extra 1000 act points," Saotari declared as his orange robot shatters into several yellow particles that absorbed by his ultimate darts STRIKER 2400 to 3400 300. "Now ultimate darts take out Stardust Dragon," Saotari declared. Ultimate darts held up his arm and aimed its weapon directly at Stardust and laughed its massive dart toward Stardust and fired. "I don't think so," a voice called out. Everyone turned to see who had said it and their eyes widened in shock. Standing there holding up an action card was another Naruto. "What, 2 Narutos?" Yaya yelled in shock. "I activate the action card Miracle," Naruto declared. "Wait, an action card won't work," he called, getting their attention. "Stargazer Magician has the ability to negate spell cards during the battle phase," Yaya called out. "That's not good," Naruto said with wide eyes, but smirked. "I activate my trap card Magical Trick Vortex. This card not only ends the battle, but lets me take 2 cards from my opponent's field." A small black hole appeared in front of Naruto and sucked in both Saotari's pendulum cards. My pendulum cards. Saotari yelled in outrage, causing Naruto to glare at him. They aren't your cards, you stole them from Yaya. Naruto said with anger before turning to Yaya and tossing the pendulum cards to him. And I'm giving them back, Naruto said. Yaya looked at his pendulum cards with shock before turning to Naruto and smiled. Thanks, Naruto. Yaya said, earning a thumbs up from Naruto. No problem, man, now take this chum down, Naruto said. Saotari growled, glaring at the duo with rage, while Naruto and Yaya smirked. However, the duo's celebration was cut off by the sound of the screams of Yaya's friends. I'm counting on you, Stardust. Naruto said as odd eyes set him on the ground and flew up to the tower, picking up Yaya's friends in his claws and flying back down to the ground, setting them by Naruto and Yaya. Excellent work, you two, Naruto said as he helped the kids down. Thank you, Mr. Ayu said. Yeah, you were awesome. Tetsuya praised, earning a smile from Naruto. It gave me shivers. Futashi said, shaking his body, which Naruto found odd. Yes, thank you. For Yuzu was cut off when Yaya embraced her in a tight hug. Yuzu's face turned crimson in an instant as she realized the situation she was in right now. Why you, Yaya? What are you? Yuzu stammered, completely surprised by her friend's actions as Yaya tightened the hug even more. I'm glad you are okay, Yaya said, holding back tears. Yuzu looked at him confused before she smiled. Yaya, Yuzu said, smiling softly, about to wrap her own arms around Yaya and enjoy the hug. However, she stopped when she heard the sound of giggling. Ho, Yaya, you dog, you. Expecting a kiss from the captive princess like some Prince Charming, Naruto said with mischievous smile, looking at the blushing looks on Yaya and Yuzu's faces as they broke apart. Hey, don't you love birds? Stop cause of me, Naruto said, wiggling his eyebrow, causing Yaya and Yuzu's blushes to increase. We're not love birds. Yue and Yuzu yelled but blushed when they heard themselves and covered their mouths, while Naruto laughed. Saotari, on the other hand, was fuming. How dare they ignore me? Me, the great Saotari, pride of LDS, #1 student in the special summon course. They will pay. Saotari screamed in his head. Hey Yoi, too, I am your opponent, so you should be focused on me and not some girl. Oh yeah, I forgot about you, Naruto said nonchalantly, causing a tick mark to grow on Saotari's head. That's it, I'll make sure you both pay for this humiliation. Saotari screamed, forcing Naruto, Yaya and his friends to cover their ears. I don't think so, Saotari. I'm gonna win this duel and then I'm taking back Stargazer and Timegazer, Yaya said with a smirk. Yaya then looked at his friends. And now guys, do you guys want to see a true pendulum summon? Yaya asked. All of them smiled at him. Of course we want to, the kids cheered with excitement while Yuzu and Naruto smiled. Then all the light in the city then disappeared. Saotari looked confused. What's going on here? Saotari asked, demanded. Futashi looked excited. It's about to start, Futashi said with excitement. Tetsuya nodded as well with a smile. Yeah, I have been waiting for this, Tetsuya added. Pendulum, pendulum, pendulum. Ayu and Yuzu chanted. The light blue-haired kid who had walked past Yaya earlier had been watching the duel since the lifted his lollipop with an excited look on his face. Pendulum, 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 he cheered. Then spots appeared and then landed on Yaya. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to show you an amazing show, so are all of you ready? Yaya exclaimed like a ringmaster in a circus. Of course we are. They all yelled as Yaya smiled. Time for some payback. Yaya said as he drew the top card from his deck and took out 2 cards from his hand. I set the pendulum scale with the scale 1 Stargazer Magician and scale 8 Timegazer Magician. He then set Stargazer at the very right and Timegazer at the very left with the flashing pendulum across the blade. Then both monsters appeared in each transparent blue pillar, with number 1 under Stargazer and number 8 under Timegazer, with the giant version of his pendant in between. Stargazer wore sacred white robes, complemented by a purple cape that fluttered in the wind, a limp wizard's hat hung on his head, and a matching white scarf covered the bottom portion of his face, a flowing mane of blonde hair whipped around the monster's back, and the nape of his neck. His outfit was ornamented with sporadic orbs of the brightest blue. He held an odd staff in one hand, which was accentuated at near its hilt by a circular frame. Timegazer had shaggy brown hair that was hidden underneath his black sorcerer's cap, and he wore matching black robes, bionic golden plates wrapped around his shoulders and waist, and on his right hand was a metallic attachment that bore a golden crescent moon fixture. He also had a scarf, red, that covered his mouth, matching the color of his clinical crimson eyes. Sway, pendulum of the soul. Draw an arc of light across the ether. Yaya chanted as the pendant swung. Pendulum summon. Come forth, my monsters. A portal appeared and 2 different lights came down, turning into monsters. First is performable Kaleidoscorpion, a red scorpion with a hat with a blue tail that had yellow stars on it, and instead of claws, it had 2 purple shields with large yellow stars on them. Appear. Wondrous and beautiful dichromatic eyes. Odd eyes. Pendulum dragon, 2500 2000. Yaya called. The final ball of light was a red dragon with small arms and a dinosaur-like body. Its right eye was red and its left eye was green. The dragon had a pointed yellow beak-like snout filled with sharp white teeth, and on the sides of its head had a pair of long tan horns that pointed back. A small blue orb adorned the crest of the dragon's head, and embedded under the white armor on its chest was another much larger blue orb. On its back was a pair of large tan curved spikes. The right spike embedded with two green orbs and the left embedded with a single red orb. "So that's Yaya's odd eyes," Naruto said, impressed by the beast. Salon felt his dual disc shaking and knew his own dragon must be reacting to it. "Now dear audience, this might get bright, but please don't look away. Now watch as I activate Kaleidoscorpion's special ability, Go Kaleidosearch." Kaleidoscorpion lifted his tail and a beam of light came out from the hole on the top of it. The beam then hit all three of Satoru's monsters and they got surrounded by a blue light. Satoru looked confused. What's going on here? Yaya smiled when he saw how happy Yuzu and the others looked. So happy when they saw the light and colors that appeared when Kaleidoscorpion activated his ability. Before he looked at Satoru. "I can activate this ability when there is a special summon monster on my opponent's side of the field, and if I recall all three of your monsters are special summoned, correct?" Yaya asked. "Yeah, what about it?" Satoru said, not sure what Yaya was getting at. "It means you're in trouble," Naruto said with a smirk. Yaya then touched one of Odd Eye's arms, "And now I pick one monster on my side, and after that the fun will begin," Yaya said, looking over to Odd Eyes. Odd Eyes then got covered in a yellow glow before a beam came out of each one of Satoru's dart monsters and flew into Odd Eye's pendulum dragon. Then two energy forms of Odd Eyes formed next to him, one blue and one red. Yaya then held out his arms, and behold, now my selected monster, Odd Eye's pendulum dragon, can attack multiple times, since he can now attack all of your special summon monsters once each. This is the amazing Kaleido Mirage. Yaya yelled as Odd Eyes roared, and the two energy version flew up in the air and flew around a few times before they flew toward Satoru's monsters. "It's so beautiful," Ayu said in awe with a happy smile, and Yaya nodded. "I wish that I could enjoy this wonderful sight as well, but I'm in the middle of a duel now, so go Odd Eye's pendulum dragon, attack his ultimate dart striker now," Yaya called. The red energy form of Odd Eyes flew towards ultimate dart striker. Yaya looked at his friends. "Now, does anyone here knows what Odd Eye's pendulum dragon's special ability is?" Yaya asked, looking to his friends. Tetsuya looked at the sight with a smile. Along with when Odd Eyes battles a level 5 or above monster, the battle damage Tetsuya began is doubled. Ayu and Futashi yelled at the same time. Yaya nodded with a smile before he pointed at Satoru. "That's correct, and with that I will have you take that double damage," Satoru, Yaya declared. Satoru looked at Yaya shocked. "Double damage?" he yelled. The red energy form of Odd Eyes then crashed into ultimate dart striker and destroyed him. Satoru was sent flying forward into the water. Satoru. 6200 to 6000. Yaya with a smile, then pointed at Rocket Dart Striker, "And we're not done yet, now Odd Eyes, attack Rocket Dart Striker." Yaya declared. The blue energy form of Odd Eyes pendulum dragon flew towards Rocket Dart, had just managed to crawl up from the water, and was gasping for air. "And like before, the damage is..." Satoru looked at him shocked before Yaya said with a huge smile, "Doubled." The second after that the blue energy form of Odd Eyes crashed into Rocket Dart Striker and destroyed him. Satoru quickly got up and tried to run away from the explosion. "Not again," Satoru cried. The shockwaves from the explosion hit him in the back and sent him flying, and then he landed on his stomach and slammed his face into the ground hard. Satoru, 6000-4600. Yaya then looked at Power Dart Striker with a determined look on his face, and now for the big finale, attack Power Dart Striker with Spiral Strike Burst. Odd Eyes ran forward before he jumped up and unleashed his attack towards Power Dart Striker, and Yaya looked at his friends with a smile, and of course the damage is. Yaya began as Odd Eyes attack hit and destroyed Power Dart Striker. Doubled. Yuzu and the others shouted, jumping high, excited as they could be. Satoru began to run again. "Of course it is," Satoru said as he ran away before being sent flying to the ground again by the shockwave of the explosion created when his monster was destroyed. Satoru. 4600 to 3400. "Alright." The kids cheered. "I wouldn't be celebrating so soon. I've still got 3400 life points left." Satoru declared. "I activate my trap dart reborn." Satoru said as his face down revealed itself. "What, when did he?" Naruto stopped before realizing Satoru must have said it when Naruto saved the others. "Thanks to this card I'm able to revive my darts monsters," Satoru announced as his three monsters returned. "Another nifty effect of my darts reborn card, my ultimate darts at points get added to my life points," Satoru said as he was covered by green aura, 3400 to 5800. Ahahahahaha. Satoru laughed insanely as he looked at his opponents. "Now do you see how futile your move was?" "Sorry Naruto," Yaya apologized, but Naruto waved it off. Don't worry Yaya, I've got this duel 1 Naruto said stepping forward it's my turn. Naruto said getting another card now I'll activate the magic card pendulum call. By discarding one card from my hand I'm able to add 2 pendulum cards from my deck to my hand. Naruto said sending a card to the graveyard and took 2 cards from his deck. Wait did he just say pendulum? Saitari exclaimed while Yaya and the others looked on in shock. Naruto held up 2 cards in his hand. I set scale 1 Odd Eyes Persona Dragon and scale 8 Odd Eyes Mirage Dragon in the pendulum zones. Naruto said placing the Persona on the right and Mirage on the left with the flashing pendulum across the blade. 2 pillars of light appeared. The column on Naruto's right contained a small red bipedal dragon with small arms and thick white armor covering the top of its head, and the back of its neck embedded beneath the white armor covering the dragon's chest was a large blue orb. Meanwhile the column on Naruto's left contained another small dragon similar to the first. Only it was green and had 4 long white spikes growing from its chin and a short curved yellow horn growing from the white armor covering its forehead. A giant version of the first Hokage's necklace appeared between them. Swing pendulum. Swing towards the path that leads to destiny. Naruto chanted as the necklace swung back and forth. Pendulum summon. Come and join my side my monsters Naruto yelled raising his hand as a portal opened in the sky and 3 lights flew out from the portal. From my extra deck Iris Magician and White Wing Magician. Naruto said as his 2 spellcasters appeared swinging their respective weapons. But you already used it to synchro summon it should be in the graveyard. Saitari yelled. Sorry, but when pendulum monsters are destroyed or used for fusion or synchro summon they go to the extra deck Naruto explained. Pendulum cards go to the extra deck instead of the graveyard Yaya said shocked. Naruto looked at Yaya and nodded. And last my loyal partner. Fearsome dragon with dichromatic eyes, appear Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon, 2500-200. Naruto said appearing on the field was a monster that looked identical to Yaya's Odd Eyes, but its akin was blue and was covered in grey skeletal armor, the gems with located in its armored claws. Odd Eyes' eyes began to glow as did Phantom Dragon's, both beasts let loose fearsome and powerful roars, creating a strong shockwave. Elsewhere. Back at the room with computers, everyone was very shocked beyond belief. The silver-haired man was more shocked beyond anyone he just pendulum summoned. The screens changed to waves of reading suddenly went haywire and the computer gave out loud beeping sounds alarming the people in the room. Sir, that boy's pendulum summoning is giving even more energy than the privy summoning energy a female worker said to the silver-haired man, shocking him even more. The screen changed back to the duel. Back to the duel. I now overlay my level 4 magicians. Naruto said holding up his hand. White Wing turned fully green and Iris turned fully purple, then shot up and spiraled around each other as a galaxy-like portal opened in front of Naruto. The 2 monsters flew through the portal. No way. Yaya began. He's also able to. Saitari exclaimed in shock. Divine sorcerers who rule over space and time come together and give rise to a new power. Come forward and unleash your power. Naruto chanted. An explosion burst from the portal like the Big Bang's summon. Come forth Star Time Magician, 2400-1200. Rising out of the vortex was a man with long orange-red hair, wearing a long blue and white conical hat with a blue metal brim at the front, a blue cloth covered the lower half of his face, and he wore a long white and black coat over a light and dark blue shirt. The man also had on long dark blue and white pants with grey armor, covering the left leg. On his left shoulder was a gold epaulette with gear-like teeth. And his left forearm was covered in grey armor with a long golden gear-like blade. Hanging from the man's back was a long white cape that was blue underneath, and in his right hand, he had a long dark staff with an ornate blade at the top and a large clear transparent wheel with gold trim attached to the center. He is able to summon too. Saitari said with a bit of jealousy. Now I activate Dragonic Brotherhood. Naruto said activating his magic card when Odd Eyes Pendulum and Phantom are both on the field their attack points had doubled. Naruto declared as the 2 dragons roared together, 2500 to 5000 2000s. Naruto noticed a nearby action card and swiped it from the ground and smiled. I activate the action spell Union Power, giving my start time an extra 500 at points for each monster on mine and Yaya's field, and in case you can't count, that's 3 for a total of 1500, 2400 to 3900. Oh no. Saitari said with a heavy swat. Edom Kid Kurama smirked as did his partner who nodded. Time to battle Phantom Dragon take out ultimate darts. Naruto declared. Odd Eyes Phantom unleashed a stream of spiraling blue and black energy, shattering ultimate darts Strikeer Saitari. 5800 to 3200. Now Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon's ability activates when it destroys a monster my opponent takes damage equal the combined at points of the monsters in my pendulum zone, Naruto announced, causing Saitari to pale. Odd Eyes Mirage and Persona have 1200 at points each, so that's Yuzu began. 2400 damage. The kids cheered as both dragons unleashed streams of red and green flames, scorching Saotari. 3200 800. Oh no. Saotari paled as Naruto's Star-Time magician glared at him, raising his staff, creating a small galaxy within it. End this space-time sorcery. Naruto shouted as Star-Time unleashed its attack towards Saotari's monster, Saotari's two remaining monsters shattering them. Now way. Saotari screamed as he was sent flying before falling to the ground. Saotari. 800-0 loser. Naruto Yaya. Winner. Nice work Yaya. Naruto said as he held up his fist, confusing Yaya before smiling as they bumped fist. Thanks for helping me save my friends, Naruto, Yaya said. Saotari's goons ran out into the arena towards Saotari as he picked him up. So what's it matter, you won the duel anyways, but I'm not leaving here until I have those pendulum cards. He shouted with his goons getting ready for an attack, only to be intercepted by Naruto, who brought his hands together in the tiger sign. Jutsu. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. He yelled as he was engulfed in a cloud of smoke. When it cleared, everyone was shocked to see 3 Narutos standing in place of 1. Wow, what's going on? The first goon exclaimed before a clone smashed his fist into his stomach, causing him to fall the ground. The second clone delivered a roundhouse, knocking the other boys across the arena. Yaya, Yuzu and the kids were surprised at how Naruto not only easily took out Saotari's goons, but could also make copies of himself. As for Saotari, he was shivering in fright for walking back slowly until a stick came hitting him in the head. Another kid around the same age as the other kids jumped join front of Naruto. The kid had light blue hair, white skin, a blue jacket over a black shirt, and white pants with brown shoes. And you are? Naruto questioned the newcomer. Turning around, the kid gave a smile towards the group, someone who was amped by yours and Yaya's duel. So do you study here at the Leo Institute? Yaya inquired. You boy, I was considering it, but that duel you guys had changed my mind. I want you to be my teacher. While this new kid was speaking with Yaya, the other kids and Yuzu came up to Naruto for a proper introduction. Mister, thank you for saving us and helping Yaya. My name is Ayu said, looking at Naruto, who smiled in return. It was my pleasure, besides it isn't right to just take hostages during a duel, Naruto replied. Hello Mr. Naruto, my name is Tetsuya. It was really awesome that you could synchro, pendulum and summon, Tetsuya said, coming up to Naruto excitedly. Nice to meet you, but leave the Mr. out of it, you can just call me Naruto, Naruto said to the excited boy. So Naruto, I haven't seen you at school before, are you new? Zuzu asked. Oh yeah, I just got into town today, Naruto said sheepishly. LDS observations room. Sir, should I go and retrieve those pendulum cards? Nakajima asked the young man. No, leave them be, the president spoke, making Nakajima turn to him. But Mr. President? He questioned. Ryuji looked at the images from Naruto's duel and his ability to duplicate himself. It was quite an interesting ability. Naruto Uzumaki, just who are you? Ryuji wondered, looking at the image of Naruto with interest. Outside LDS. It was sunset. Naruto, Yaya, his friend and Sora were outside of the Leo Duel School building now. Yaya and his friends with Sora was walking down the street, most likely to their homes. Naruto was walking the other way to find a place to spend the night. Now where am I gonna spend the night? Naruto thought to himself. Hey Naruto, wait up, Naruto heard Yaya's voice call out to him. Naruto turned around to see Yaya and his friend running up to him. What's up, Naruto said, wondering what they wanted. Yaya and Yuzu walked up to Naruto. We just wanted to know if you're interested in joining our duel school, the yugioh duel school, Yaya said to Naruto, wanting Naruto to join. Naruto thought about what Yaya just asked. I'd love to join, but I have to find somewhere to spend the night, Naruto said to Yaya. Don't you have a house, Naruto? Yaya asked, confused. Naruto shook his head. I just arrived in the city today, so I don't have a house, Naruto said to them. And there's no way you're sleeping on the streets? Yaya exclaimed. Maybe I can talk my mom into letting you stay with us. Naruto smiled. That'll be great, Naruto said. The two waved goodbye to Yuzu, the kids and Sora and made their way to the Sakaki residence. Sakaki home. Naruto and Yaya made it to a simple house that has a bay window in the front and it seems it has a second floor by sunset. Nice house, Naruto complimented. Thanks, let's get inside. You like my mother? She's a nice woman, Yaya said as he and Naruto went through the door. When they got inside, Naruto saw that it was nice inside as it was outside. He can see that there is a simple living room with a couch and a television. He can also see the kitchen, which is close to the living room. There is also a sliding pole that connects the first floor with the second. I'm home. Yaya called out. Several animal sounds were heard, then came out several dogs and cats, surprising Naruto. They all went to Yaya as said boy kneeled to pet them. Hey guys. Whoa, Naruto breathed out. Yeah, one thing about my mother is that she loves cute things, leading her to adopt all of these pets. Not that I'm complaining, Yaya said as they walked into the living room. Naruto heard a little bark beneath him and looked down to see a small Pembroke-ish corgi looking up at him, with his tail wagging. Hey there little guy, Naruto greeted, kneeling down at the dog. That Zen mother took him in a while ago, he was so small he could fit in the palm of my hand, Yaya said. Axe the dog looked up at Naruto. Oh, Naruto picked up N as the dog began to lick him in the face out of affection. Hey, stop it, it tickles, Naruto said between laughs. Hey, he likes you. Just then an odd-eyed cat with a yellow right eye and a blue left eye walked towards Naruto. Naruto noticed the cat and petted his head. That's Core, one of the special cats with a different color on each eye, Yaya said as cat nuzzled against Naruto's cheek. Wait, N and Core? As in encore? Naruto said. Ironic, isn't it? Yaya replied with a sweat drop. Well, isn't that sweet? Naruto and Yaya looked up to see a fairly tall and youthful-looking woman of slender build with blue eyes and light skin. She has long blonde hair, the front bangs being golden in color. Her hair is tied in a ponytail and sections out as spikes. Her bangs part to the right side and frame her face. She is commonly seen wearing an aqua-colored long-sleeve shirt and blue jeans with brown low shoes. She also accessories with silver big loop earrings. 2 golden bands on her left wrist and a small golden necklace hanging under her neck. Oh, hey mom, Yaya said standing up alongside Naruto. This is my new friend, Naruto. He's a new student at the yugioh duel school. Naruto waved. So this is your mom? She looks awfully young to be a mother, Naruto said, causing Yaya's mother to blush like a schoolgirl. You really think I look young? Mrs. Sakaki asked. Not this again, Yaya sighed. Aren't you adorable? Mrs. Sakaki squealed, bringing Naruto into a tight hug, causing the blonde former shinobi to blush at the closeness to Yaya's mother's assets. Thank you, Naruto said, sporting a Hinata blush, trying to avoid looking at the older blonde's chest. Here's the deal, mom, Yaya began. Naruto needs a place to stay and he doesn't have any money, so I was wondering if… Say no more, Yaya's mother interrupted. How can I refuse a charming boy who gave me a youth compliment? She turned to Naruto. You can stay here as long as you want. Naruto smiled. Thank you, Sakaki-san, Naruto said, bowing respectfully. Oh, you can call me Yoko, dear, Yoko said before turning to the kitchen. I'll get dinner started. She then left for the kitchen, leaving the boys in the living room. Naruto turned to Yaya, weirded out while Yaya was embarrassed. Does she do that often? Naruto asked as the dueltoner nodded with embarrassment. Yes, she is easily charmed by cute young boys, which is embarrassing, Yaya said, holding his head at his mother's antics. After they ate dinner, it was time everybody went to bed as it was dark outside. Naruto and Yaya had to share the same bedroom. Yaya's the other bedroom was where all the pets were sleeping and both boys had no problem sharing Yaya's bedroom, but there is only one bed and I don't think they want to share that. Sorry that the other bedroom was occupied by our pets, Yaya apologized. Naruto waved the apology off as he was digging into his backpack. No worries, good thing I brought this, Naruto said as he took out a simple blue sleeping bag. You brought your sleeping bag? Yaya asked with surprise. It was just in case that I had to camp out to get here, Naruto said, aging down his sleeping bag. Okay, but you are not resting your head on the floor. Yaya said as he brought out a pillow and gave it to Naruto, which the latter graciously accepted. Thanks, Naruto thanked while laying the sleeping bag and pillow down on the floor and got into the bag. Maybe my mom can get a mattress for you so you don't have to sleep on the floor all the time, Yaya said as he climbed into bed. That'd be great, Naruto said, setting up his sleeping bag. Yaya lied down on the bed while Naruto lied down on the floor. Chapter 3 Child's Play. Yaya stretched out his arms and yawned as the sun shined. He got up from his bed and noticed Naruto was no gone. Where did Naruto go? Yaya thought before his nose twitched. He walked out his room and followed the scent into the kitchen to find Naruto setting up breakfast with his mother sitting at the table and Sora. Good morning, Yaya. Yoko said, waving to her son. Good morning, sensei. Sora greeted, eating a steak of pancakes. Good morning, Yaya said while Naruto handed him a plate with pancakes, bacon and eggs. Thanks, Naruto, but you really don't need to do this. Naruto waved him off. Nah, it's the least I can do for you guys letting me stay here, Naruto sitting beside Yaya. And thank you very much, Naruto, you're very great cook, Yoko said, causing Naruto to blush at the compliment. Well, I've had a lot of experience cooking for myself, Naruto said, confusing the Yaya. Didn't your parents cook for you, Naruto? Yaya asked. Nope, I've been on my own since I was 4 years old, Naruto said, shocking Yaya, his mother and Sora. What? Where were your parents? Yoko asked demandingly. I'm an orphan, Naruto said, causing them to look down. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Yoko said. It's okay, Naruto said with a smile as they continued to eat their meal. 30 minutes later. After finishing up breakfast, Naruto and Yaya got dressed and made their way to school. Naruto and Yaya started walking to school together and soon they were joined by Yuzu. Yaya, Yuzu and Naruto talked together while walking to school. Sensei. Sora's voice called out from behind the three. What are you doing following me around? Yaya yelled, glaring at the boy who simply smiled. Wherever my teacher goes I go, Sora said to Yaya. Yaya frowned at Sora. Stop following me and go somewhere else. Yaya was cut off when Sora put his hands into the air and said. Come on, teach me how to pendulum summon, Sora said, causing Yaya to sigh. For you to learn pendulum summoning, you need 2 pendulum cards, Yaya said to Sora. Sora looked confused at what Yaya said, but I don't have any pendulum cards in that case, you have to show me your pendulum summoning show me, Sora said to Yaya. Naruto couldn't help but chuckle at Sora, he soon saw an image of Konohamaru and how he acted the same way. A sad smile spread across Naruto's face at the memory of his friends. I can't right now, Yaya said to Sora. Sora turned to look at Yuzu. Can you convince teacher to show pendulum summon, Sora said to Yuzu. Why are you asking me? Yuzu said to Sora. Teacher will do it since his girlfriend is asking him, Sora said, causing Yuzu to start blushing. Girlfriend, Yuzu said, still blushing. Sora looked at her confused. Did I get the wrong idea about you two, Sora said. Yes you did. Yuzu and Yaya shouted out, blushing madly. Naruto saw this and a sinister grin spread across his face. Oh really, you sure seemed pretty close, especially with how you acted yesterday, Naruto, causing Yaya and Yuzu to glare at him. What's that supposed to mean? They yelled while Naruto chuckled. Well, I'm just saying, usually childhood best friends tend to turn into the most passionate lovers, Naruto teased, causing Yaya and Yuzu to blush even more. LL lovers. They yelled while Naruto burst with loud laugh and made his way to school. Yuzu looked away embarrassed, Yaya was also embarrassed, but he decided to try and hide it. Why would I be together with a rough strong girl like her? Yaya said, pointing at Yuzu. Wrong answer, Yaya, Naruto thought as he watched Yuzu slap Yaya across his face with her fan. That kid's as bad as you are when it comes to women, Kurama said, earning a glare from Naruto. Naruto walked up to Yaya and offered his hand to help him up. What's with her, Yaya said, rubbing his bruised cheek. Naruto placed a hand on his shoulder. Yaya, I think you should go apologize, Naruto said. Why? Yaya asked, confused. Look man, I know you were doing that just to cover for yourself, but you hurt Yuzu's feelings, you should really apologize to her, Naruto said as Yaya looked at Yuzu from behind. Yaya, I'm not good at this sort of thing, but I do that. It's very easy to hurt a woman's feelings, which we as men should never do, especially if that someone is a person we truly care about, Yuzu really cares about, and you feel the same about her. Can you imagine how hurt she must be to hear her best friend too about her like that, Naruto said, causing the young dueltoner to look down to the ground as he took in Naruto's words. Hey Yuzu, wait. Yaya called out, chasing after Yuzu. Yuzu refused to look at him. Well, no need to worry about that then, you made it quite clear what you think about me after all. Yaya sighed as he rubbed the back of his head. I didn't mean what I said earlier, I only said it to make it clear that we weren't dating each other. While I wish you weren't so quick to pull out that fan sometimes, and while you might be a little short-tempered, you're also kind, caring and sweet and… Yaya paused as he rubbed the back of his head, a little embarrassed. You're also a really cute girl who deserves to have a really nice guy as a boyfriend, Yaya said bashfully, causing Yuzu to turn away with a blush on her cheeks. Alright Yaya, I forgive you, Yuzu said, causing Yaya to sigh in relief. Come on you crazy lovebirds, Naruto called out, causing them to blush even brighter. Naruto. Yaya and Yuzu yelled, chasing after the blonde. 5 hours. The last 5 hours it have been annoying as hell. Why? Because Sora has been bugging Yaya all day. Sora even followed him to the bathroom. Sora even popes on them when they had their lunch break. Yuzu and Yaya invited Naruto to where they eat their lunch together. I can't believe how annoying today has been, Yaya said, feeling very down because of Sora. You're not the only one bro, Naruto said, annoyed as well. Sora was like an even more stubborn version of Konohamaru. A sad smile came to Naruto's face when he thought of his surrogate little brother and how he would always follow him around asking him to teach him jutsu. Yaya, school's finished and Sora's nowhere in sight, so maybe you can relax, Yuzu said. Yaya's head shoot up with his eyes sparkling. You're right, now the fun can get started, Yaya said with newfound excitement, causing Naruto to smile. You sure you're not a couple? Naruto said before he was avoiding a swipe from Yuzu's fan. The three stopped in front of a building that looks more like a funhouse with the words yugioh duel school at the top. That's the duel school you guys attend? Naruto asked, looking at the odd building which looked more like a playhouse. All in all, it looked like Naruto's kind of school. Sure is. Yaya said proudly, and what's even greater is that Yuzu's father owns the school. Yuzu blushed in embarrassment and smacked Yaya on the head with a giant paper fan, leaving a big bump on his head. Don't brag about it. Yuzu yelled. It's not that big a deal. The two heard Naruto chuckle again and turned to him. What are you laughing at this time? Yuzu asked. Oh, nothing, I think it's great that your father owns a school, Naruto replied, referring to Yuzu. Thanks, but it's just as Yaya said, it's not that big a deal, Yuzu said. But, why did he call it yugioh duel school? Naruto asked. We'll explain that later, Yuzu said as she and Yaya went into the school. When they got inside the school, Naruto saw that it kinda looks pretty simple, despite the fun design outside. The three are currently riding an elevator that leads to the top. Here at our duel school we hone our skills by dueling each other, Yaya said. Oh really, I never would have guessed that. Naruto said sarcastically. Oh, Yaya said, feeling real stupid, frowning. Naruto suitably put his arm around Yaya's shoulder, surprising the young duelist. Hey, don't sweat it man, I was a lot like that too, Naruto said. No joke, Kurama chuckled before Naruto put Yaya in a headlock and fubbed his fists on the boy's head. Hey. Hey. Quit it. Yaya exclaimed before Naruto let go of his head. Both boys then shared a laugh with each other. Great, just what we need too, Yaya's Yuzu thought, sweat dropping at the laughing boys, but SH couldn't help but look at them and smile. Naruto and Yaya look so much alike, you would almost think they were brothers. What's with all the laughing? A voice asked as Naruto and Yaya stopped laughing. A man with dark blue eyes and brown-orange hair, wearing a red-orange jumpsuit with a green trim and red fire design, with a dark blue shirt with another fire design. Hey Papa, Yuzu said. So you're Yuzu's dad? Naruto said, causing Yuzu's father to smile brightly. That's me. The great Shuzo Hiragi. The man exclaimed with a smile, pointing to himself. Are you here to sign up for the school? Shuzo asked excitedly, getting too close to Naruto that Yuzu smacked Shuzo with the same paper fan. You just met the guy and you're already asking him to attend school here. Yuzu yelled. Both Naruto and Yaya sweat dropped. Man, she looks like Hinata, but her attitude is defiantly like Sakura's, Naruto thought, rubbing his head at the memory of his pink-haired teammate. Anyway, I'll be happy to sign up. This place looks like a ton of fun, Naruto said with a smile, causing Shuzo to smile excitedly. You got it. Shuzo said, walking over and handing Naruto the application form. A few minutes after filling out the application form, Naruto, Yaya and Yuzu walked into the duel room, Yue holding out his hands. Ladies and gentlemen, the fun is about to begin. Yaya began before he noticed that with Ayu, Tsuya and Futashi and Sora. Teacher, what kept you? Sora said, licking a lollipop. Yaya fell down comically before he quickly got back up. Why are you even here? Yaya demanded too. Because since I'm your student, the school you're in, I have to be in as well. Sora said without a care in the world, causing Yaya and Naruto to sweet drop. Shuzo then pulled Yaya in a headlock. Yaya, since Sora's your student, that means his joining, right? Shuzo said with excitement at the idea of getting another new student. Naruto was watching the little show that was going on with a smirk while Yuzu shook her head. Hold up, I never said that I would take him as my stud. Yaya was cut off again when Sora said. Teacher, since you're here now, show me how to pendulum summon. Sora asked with excitement. Yaya looked at Sora and broke out of his headlock. I'm not gonna duel you just to show pendulum summon, Yaya said, causing Sora to frown. We're not dueling, but teacher please, Sora said, activating the famous cute eyes and cute face, causing everyone except Naruto and Yaya to adore him. If there was one thing Naruto could see, it was a kid playing the cute card. Thus duel him, Yaya said with a blush on her face. Don't make Sora sad, Tsuya and Futashi adds. One duel is alright, isn't it? Yuzu said with a blush. Yaya, the one thing I taught you was to never refuse a challenge, Shuzo said looking at Yaya. But I never. Yaya tried to say but was cut off. Teacher. Sora said, making Yaya look forward and saw Sora looking at him with a begging smile on his face. Please duel with me. Yaya looked at him troubled before he sighed and then rubbed the back of his head. Even if you look at me like that, no means no. Sora kept looking at him like that until he finally cracked. Fine. I get it already. I'll duel again, Yaya said, causing Sora to smile. Yes, as Sora said, happy that Yaya was gonna duel him. However, if I win this duel, you stop calling me teacher and give me some space, Yaya said to Sora. Sora nodded happily to Yaya. Okay, but if I win then you become my teacher, Sora said before he looked at Naruto. Teacher, Naruto is also gonna join us too, right? What Sora said surprised everyone. Sora wants to duel Naruto as well. Why do you want to duel me, Sora? Naruto asked, confused why Sora would want to duel him. Because I want to see your pendulum summoning as well and your awesome magician cards and that legendary rare card again, Sora said to Naruto with excitement, and who could blame him wanting to see a card that hadn't been seen for years. I want to see Naruto duel again too, Ayu said with excitement. Me too. Tsuya agreed. Yeah, I'm getting shivers just thinking about it. Futashi exclaimed. I want to see you show duel school's new students dueling abilities as well, Shuzo said, having heard about his duel from Yuzu. Please, Naruto, Yuzu asked. Naruto looked around and saw the looks of the three younger students and saw the image of Konohamaru, Mijay and Yuden and the excited looks on their faces. Naruto sighed in defeat and rubbed his head. Okay, I'll do it. Yay. The kids and Shuzo cheered. Yusho Duel Field. A few seconds later, Naruto, Sora and Yaya were in the Yusho Duel School's action field with their dual disc already attached to their left arms. Sora's dual disc was yellow, Shuzo was already in the control room ready to activate the action field and the others were watching them from a window outside the duel field. Remember, Yaya, if I win then you become my teacher, Sora said to Yaya, reminding him of the bet. Yeah, I remember, but remember that you have to back off if I win, Yaya said to Sora. I know Sora, I know, Naruto said to Sora with an anime sweet drop on his head. Now for this duel to begin, the action field will be Wildest West, Skip said, pressing a button on the computer to activate the action field. The duel field that Yaya, Sora and Naruto were on standing on changed into a cowboy town in the middle of the Wild West. Naruto looked around and was still amazed with the real solid vision device. This real solid vision is still very impressive, Naruto said amazed. This field is so boring, Sora said, looking bored, making everyone look at him. Sora looked up at Skip. Don't you have something better than this boring action field, Sora said to Shuzo. Shuzo looked at Sora, confused that Sora did not like this action field. Sora turned back to Naruto and Yaya. Let's have a fun duel, teacher Yaya, teacher Naruto. Sora said to them with a smile on his face and activating his dual blade, which was blue. I'm not your teacher, Yaya said to Sora before he activated his dual disc. Okay then, how about this action field called Sweets Island, Shuzo said, pressing another button as the action field changed from a Wild West down into a candy world. Naruto looked around the duel field with a look that said, "Are you serious? You gotta be kidding me," Naruto thought to himself. Sora was excited, however. Hooray, candy everywhere, thanks Mr. Principal, Sora said to Shuzo. Yuzu and the others smiled as they began to chant, duelists locked in battle, kicking against the earth and dancing in the air alongside their monsters. They stormed through the field. Now behold, this is the newest and greatest evolution of dueling. Yaya then smiled as he looked at Sora. Action. Duel. Naruto, Yaya and Sora yelled at the same time. Naruto. 4,000. Yaya. 4,000. Sora. 4,000. I go first, Yaya said before he picked a card from his hand and slid it on his dual blade. I summon out Performable Hippo, Yaya said as a pink hippo in a red outfit and a black hat. APPARED 800. What is that? Kurama yelled, looking at Yaya's monsters. Yaya jumped on his hippo's back and his hippo started running to find an action card for Yaya. I end my turn, Yaya said, ending his turn. My turn now, teacher. I draw, Sora said, drawing the top card from his deck before he looked at it and slotted it in his dual disc. I play the spell card Toy Vendor, Sora said as a toy vendor appeared behind him. Thanks to this spell card, by discarding a card from my hand to the graveyard, I can draw another card, and if it's a level 4 monster or below, I can summon it. Sora discarded a card from his hand, drew another card from his deck. Sora looked at the card and smiled. I drew my Fluffle Bear, Sora said as he placed the card on his dual blade and his toy vendor raises its arm and a prize bowl rolls down from it. The prize bowl pops open as Sora's cute little toy bear with wings. APPARED 1200. Sora then grabbed a card in his hand. Next, I normal summon Fluffle Leo in attack mode. A small lion with wings appeared on the field 1600. Shuzo looked at Sora with an impressed look on his face. He used a continuous spell card to get 2 monsters on his field immediately. It looks like he's actually pretty good at dueling, Yuzu said, impressed as well. Ayu smiled, but both of his monsters are. Ayu looked at Yuzu with a smile. So cute. Yuzu and Ayu squealed, causing the boys to face fault. What is with those two, Yaya said, still riding his hippo, not noticing his hippo was running straight into a chocolate river. Naruto noticed, however. Yaya heads up, Naruto said to Yaya, hoping Yaya will not fall, and luck was not on Yaya's side when he noticed, and he and his hippo fell in the chocolate river. Naruto covered his mouth to prevent himself from laughing as Yaya and his hippo resurfaced so that they can breathe. Naruto soon looked over to Sora, who smiled and waved. Naruto looked at both Sora's monster and felt something odd about them. What's up with Sora's deck? They look innocent, but I sense something darker about them, Naruto said, looking at both Sora and his monsters. Kurama nodded. You got that right, this kid's more than what he appears. Fluffle Leo attacked Performable Hippo, Sora said as his little lion started flying at Hippo with its arms held out. Yaya then brought his right hand out of the chocolate river to reveal that he had an action card. Nice one, Yaya. Naruto said as Yaya activated the spell. I activate the action card, avoid, Yaya said, slotting the action card in his dual disc Performable Hippo with Yaya on its back, then spin jumped away from Sora's monster that was about to destroy Hippo. Amazing, teacher, you're so good at playing action cards, Sora said, amazed with Yaya and his monster, but I still have Fluffle Bear to attack, but it won't be you. Sora then looked at Naruto. Naruto noticed Sora looking at him. Oh crap, Naruto thought as Sora pointed at him with his bear. Fluffle Bear attack, teacher Naruto, Sora said as his little bear monster started flying at Naruto to attack him. Naruto, look out. Yaya called out to his friend with worry. Naruto's eyes were covered by his hair as the bear charged towards him, raising its paw for a punch, only to smirk. A warrior dressed similarly to a motorbiker with the goggles and wavy spiked tufts of pink dropped down in front of Naruto. He raised his diamond-shaped shield as a bubble coated his body, blocking Fluffle Bear's ATTACK 1500 2000. Sora said SURPRISCD Sora. 4000 Sorry, Sora, but when my opponent is about to attack me directly, I'm able to special summon my Gagagag Gardna from my hand, Naruto said as the bubble vanished. Sora began pouting. I end my turn, Sora said, ending his turn. Then it's my turn, Naruto said, drawing his card. Naruto, is it finally time for me to come out and play? The feminine voice of the card asked with excitement as Naruto smiled. You bet it is. I sacrifice my Gagaga Gardna and summon Dark Magician GIRL 2000 1700s. Naruto declared. What? Yai and Sora said with shock, while the others looked on in disbelief. The beautiful female spellcasters descended on the field. She had blonde hair, green eyes and faint pink markings on her cheeks. Her outfit was an off-the-shoulders blue garment that extends to her mid-thighs and ends up as a skirt with pink trimmings, along with blue and pink gauntlets. Her signature blue hat was pointed with a pink spiral at the end, while her boots reached halfway up her thighs. She looked at Sora and Yaya and gave them a cute wink, earning a blush from both boys. Dark Magician Girl, Yaya gasped. She's so beautiful. Ayu gushed while Yu's nodded in agreement, both amazed at the female wizard's beauty. Tetsaya and Futashi both had dazed looks, seeing not only a legendary rare monster, but also a pretty one. He has Dark Magician Girl, but I thought that card was lost decades ago. Just who is this boy? Shuzo thought, looking at Naruto from the viewing room. Awesome, teacher Naruto. I didn't know you had another legendary rare card. Sora exclaimed in amazement. Don't get too starstruck, Sora, because my Dark Magician Girl's going straight for you. Naruto said, pointing to Sora's Fluffolio. Go dark burning attack. Naruto said as the female magician pointed her wand at the plush lion and fired a beam of pink magic, destroying Sora's monster Sora. 3200 to 2800. Not bad, teacher Naruto, Sora said with a smirk. Thanks, I'll set one card and end my turn, Naruto said as a revere's card appears in front of him. It's my turn. Yaya said, drawing his card, and smiled. The spotlight soon shined on him. Ladies and gentlemen, the fun is about to begin, Yaya announced, causing the kids to cheer, shouting Yaya's name. While Yuzu smiled, Sora became excited along with Naruto. He didn't know why, but seeing how Yaya acted reminded him of himself. Go for it, Yaya. Naruto said, cheering his friend on, causing Yaya to smile as he held up two cards. I set the pendulum scale with the scale 1 Stargazer Magician and scale 8 Timegazer Magician. He then set Stargazer at the very right and Timegazer at the very left with the flashing pendulum across the blade. Both monsters appeared in each transparent blue pillar, with number 1 under Stargazer and number 8 under Timegazer, with the giant version of his pendant in between. Sway, pendulum of the soul. Draw an arc of light across the ether. Yaya chanted as the pendant swung. Pendulum summon. Come forth, my monsters. First up is performable Skeeter Skimmer. The insect Yaya had used in their last duel appeared on the field. Second, performable Swordfish. A little swordfish with black hair, wearing red sunglasses and had a red tie appeared. Next, and then appear with your heroic and beautiful dual-colored eyes. Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, Yaya announced as Odd Eyes then appeared with a mighty roar. Teacher, finally pendulum summoned. Sora said with excitement. Naruto looked at Yaya's Odd Eyes and suddenly felt his deck begin to vibrate. He knew that his dragon wanted to come out. Man, you really want to join you brother, huh buddy? Naruto said with smile. I play my swordfish's effect. When he's summoned, my opponent's monsters lose 600 act points, Yaya said, as his swordfish fired several smaller swords at Sora and Naruto's monsters, surrounding them with blades as they began to glow, losing their attack strength. Dark Magician GIRL 2000 1400, Fluffle BEAR 1200 600 800s. Now Odd Eyes attack. Fluffle Bear Spiral Strike Burst. Odd Eyes unleashed a stream of spiraling wreck and black energy, destroying Sora's monster, sending him crashing into a nearby candy house. Uh-oh, I think went too hard on the little guy, Yaya said, scratching his head. You think? Naruto said sarcastically. His eyes widened and he clutched his chest as a sudden feeling of dread swept his body. This feeling, it's the same as when I fought Zabuza and Orochimaru, Naruto thought before looking over to Sora as the young man suddenly jumped to his feet. That's what I wanted to see, teacher. Pendulum summoning is so cool, now it's time to get serious. Sora said with a grin, surprising Naruto and Yaya. That Gaki was just playing around the entire time. Watch out, Naruto, there's more to him that he's letting on, Kurama warned. Naruto nodded as he noticed the sudden change in Sora. First, I activate Seem Reborn, which allows me to special summon a Fluffle monster from my graveyard, so return to me Fluffle Bear. Sora said as Fluffle Bear then reappeared on the field. I activate Toy Vendor's effect and discard another card, Sora said as he sends a card from his hand to the graveyard, and Toy Vendor raised an arm and a prize ball came out and opened to reveal a pair of demonic-like scissors. I drew my Edge Imp SABRES 1200 800, Sora said as his monsters stood beside each other. Scary Ayu, Tetsaya, Futashi and Yuzu said, scared at Sora's new monster, while Yaya was surprised that Sora had a monster like that, while Naruto kept his guard up. Kurama was right, there is more to Sora than he's letting on, Naruto thought, preparing himself for whatever Sora was planning. Now I'll show you both my true power by activating this as, Sora said as he held a card in his right hand before he showed it to Yaya and Naruto. I activate my polymerization, Sora said as the two monsters flew above him. One was the demonic pair of scissors, the other was a cute pink bear with beady black eyes, wide angel wings on its back, pointy ears, and a red ascot tied around its neck. The two monsters dissolved in the swirling portal behind them. Claws of the demon. Fangs of the beast. Become one and reveal to us your new form. Sora chanted as his fluffal bear was ripped from the inside taking on a new form. Sora brought his hands down in front of his face and yelled. Fusion summon. Come forth, horrifying beast that shreds all fright for bear 2200-1800. A large brown bear, not unlike Fluffal Bear, appeared without warning. Its arms quivered and shot forward, becoming plump and clawed. Its stomach split in two, and a giant pair of scissors now held together both sections. A second pair of scissors was located on the monster's back, giving its feet mobility. The bear's head lifted, its lazy eyes drifting skyward, and the loose strands of string that kept its head attached to its patchy body stretched a mouth containing 2 rows of sharp blue teeth, housed a set pair of unholy pink eyes. Yuzu looked worried, so that is what a fusion summoning looks like, and that is a fusion monster, Yuzu said, worried at the monster's frightening appearance. So was a bit troubled over how a cute monster like Fluffal Bear could become such a scary looking monster. Futashi smiled, that's so awesome. Futashi cheered. Tetsuya nodded. Big sis Yuzu, I'm getting really scared, Ayu said, hugging the older girl's legs, while Yuzu tried to cheer her up. Shuzo looked at Frightful Bear with narrowed eyes. Fusion summoning. By using the spell card polymerization, you can combine 2 or more monsters to summon a new monster from the extra deck. It's quite a powerful summoning technique, however they have just recently started to teach it at LDS, so can that kid really be a part of LDS? Shuzo thought. Frightful Bear attacks Yaya's hip hippo. Sora said, making his monster's arm lashed and hit Yaya's hippo, sending Yaya to the ground and sending hip hippo to the chocolate river Yaya. 4,2600. Yaya then swam to the edge of the pond and curled up on dry land again, however he then looked up when a large shadow appeared above him and saw Frightful Bear in front of him. And now to activate Frightful Bear's special ability, it can equip the monster it destroyed and sent to the graveyard to itself, Sora explained, shocking Yaya and Naruto. What? Both boys exclaimed. Frightful Bear launched his left arm into the juice pond and then how he pulled Hip Hippo out of it. Yaya looked at Hippo worried. Hippo? Yaya said, reaching for his monster as he watched Frightful devour Hip Hippo, while Sora just kept smiling as he held up his fist. And now Frightful Bear's attack points increases equal to the original attack points of the monster that's equipped to it, Sora said, shocking everyone, 2200 to 3000 1800s. That's not good. Naruto grit his teeth looking at Sora's frightening monster, surrounded by a dark sinister aura as its eyes flashed. Sora looked around before he noticed an action card and smiled. He backflipped into the air, landing Frightful Bear's hands and launched him towards the candy cane, much to the audience shock. Sora then grabbed the action card and spun around on the candy cane and let go, landing in front of Naruto and Yaya. Whoa, I know those aren't moves you learn in a duel school, as Sora, a member of Academia, Naruto thought as Sora played his action card. I activate the action card double attack. This lets my bear put on a second performance. Sora smiled, turning to Naruto. Now it's your turn, teacher Naruto. I don't think so, Sora. Naruto said, preformed a hand sign Kage Bushin no Jutsu. Naruto shouted as he was engulfed in a cloud of smoke, confusing everyone. What's Naruto and Aichin up to? Ayu asked, but the others had no answer for them. Their eyes soon widened as the smoke cleared. Standing there was not one but 6 Narutos. Wide. Everyone exclaimed in shock at what they had just witnessed. Hey, didn't Naruto and Aichin use that back at LDS? Tetsuya said. You're right. Ayu agreed. Shuzo looked at Naruto with disbelief. He was checking the system, scanning over each of Naruto's duplicates, and his eyes widened in shock. This isn't real solid vision. How is this possible? I've never seen such a thing, Shuzo thought with disbelief. Alright boys, spread out and find an action card. Naruto commanded. Right boss. The clone said before they scattered throughout the field in a blur of orange flashes. Wow, he's so fast, Futashi said in awe. The others nodded, amazed by Naruto's skills. Even Sora was shocked. I've never seen anything like this before. The professor never told us that people from standard has this kind of ability, Sora thought. He shook his head and focused back on the dual Frightful Bear attack. Sora yelled as his monster raised its paw to strike Dark Magician Girl, only to have flip into the air, dodging the attack. Huh? Sorry, Sora, one of Naruto's clones said, holding up an action card evasion. Thanks boys, Naruto said as his clones vanished in a puff of smoke. Oh man. I guess I'll end my turn, Sora said, pouting. He secretly glanced at Naruto curiously. With all the information they had on the 4 dimensions, none of them said anything about them having these kind of abilities. Alright, it's my turn. Naruto said, drawing his card, and smirked at the card in his hand. Well, Sora, I have to admit that's one impressive fusion monster, but it's too bad I've gotta destroy it, Naruto said, surprising Sora and Yaya. Well, everyone looked at Naruto. I set the pendulum scale with scale 1 Dragonpulse Magician and scale 8 Dragonpit Magician, Naruto said, holding up 2 cards. Naruto said, placing the Dragonpulse on the right and Dragonpit on the left with the flashing pendulum across the blade. 2 pillars of light appeared. The column of light on Naruto's right contained a young man with light orange hair that was short, except for a long braided ponytail that went halfway down his back. He had on a long white coat, gold trim, and the collar and shoulders colored navy blue. Around each of the young man's upper arms were 2 pairs of rope-like green bands underneath his jacket. The young man had on a black bodysuit. And around his upper legs were 2 pairs of green bands like the ones on his upper arms. Atop the young man's head was a small white and gold conical hat with a gold ornament on each side, resembling a dragon's wing. In his left hand, the young man had a white and blue bladed bow-like weapon. Connected to each end of the weapon was a long gold ribbon that resembled the body of a serpent-like dragon, and attached to this ribbon near one of the blades was a small red crystal orb. Inside the column on Naruto's left was a man with spiked pale blonde hair, wearing a long ornate dark blue and white coat with gold trim. This coat had a thick white furred collar with grey dragon fangs. Decorating the outer rim around the man's upper left arm was a pair of green rope-like bands. Atop the magician's head was a small white and gold conical hat with an ornament on each side, each ornament resembling a set of 3 dragon horns in his hand. The man held a purple staff with a small yellow crystal orb on the end, and surrounding the orb was a large gold ring resembling the body of a serpent-like dragon. Swing pendulum. Swing towards the path that leads to destiny. Naruto chanted as the necklace swung back and forth. Pendulum summon. Come and join my side, my monsters, Naruto yelled, raising his hand as a portal opened in the sky and a light flew out from the portal. Appear, faithful servant of the pharaoh. Dark magician. Naruto announced while everyone looked on in shock and gasped in awe as the legendary monster appeared for the first time since Yugi's time. The spellcaster monster was intimidating, with its blue and purple robes matching its armor, consisted of a collection of shiny curved plates with sharp edges at the shoulder pads and the signature hat that slightly leans forward. His determined face was shown under the mane of the hat, with his purple-blue long hair coming under it. It can be the ace monster of the legendary king of games, Dark Magician. Shuzo exclaimed in utter shock before it quickly turned to excitement. So hot-blooded. He shouted with fire in his eyes. I don't believe it, the Dark Magician, Yaya gasped. So cool. The boys shouted while Yuzu and Ayu had hearts in their eyes at the handsome sorcerer stood beside his student. Now I activate the ability of Dragonpulse Magician. When I have another magician in my pendulum zone, I can discard 1 pendulum card to destroy one of my opponent's monsters. Naruto shouted, shocking Sora. Dragonpulse twirled his staff, creating a cyclone of rocks and debris toward Sora's frightful bear, sucking it up in the air. Both magicians held up their staffs and unleashed streams of orange and blue energy, shattering Sora's monster. Oh no. Sora said in horror before he looked around, hopping to find an action card. Now Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl attack Sora's life points directly. Naruto said as the 2 spellcasters raised their staffs, creating a sphere of black energy with swirling pink and purple energy surrounding it before launching it at force of the attack, sent Sora flying right into an ice cream cone that was part of the action field. Sora. 2800. Sora. Loser. Naruto 4000. Yaya 2600. The duel field soon began to vanish and the boys were back on Yugioh's duel field. Once they walked back to the main room, everyone ran towards them, praising both Yaya and Naruto. Naruto, that was so cool. Aya said with excitement. Yeah, I never thought you had the Dark Magician duo. Tsuchiya did with amazement. I got shivers. Futashi said, shaking his body. The kid's compliments caused Naruto to blush. Hey Naruto, what was that trick you did earlier? How were able to make multiple copies of yourself? Yuzu asked. Soon all eyes fell on Naruto. Yeah, you used it back when we're dealing with Saitari and his goons too, Yaya added, also curious about Naruto's trick. Well, I use my chakra to control the wind. He saw everyone giving him the what the hell are you talking about look. You don't know what that is, huh? I should have figured. What is this chakra? Asked Ray. Chakra is a combination of the body's physical energy and spiritual energy within every living being, everybody in my world. Naruto gulped when he accidentally slipped the last 2 words, and everyone heard it. My world? Tsuchiya asked, causing Naruto's eyes to widen at what he said. I'm not from this world, Naruto said. Everyone's eyes widened. Both Futashi and Tsuchiya had stars in their eyes. Are you Superman? They asked, only to be struck by Yuzu's fan. I guess you could say that, but I'm really not. You see, my people and I can use chakra to increase our strength, speed, endurance, stamina as well. Techniques, Naruto said. Techniques? Sora asked curiously. "Well, I might as well explain to you guys," Naruto said, rubbing his head. "You guys are gonna wanna sit down to hear this," Naruto said, and the others sat down on the coach as Naruto began to tell the yugioh crew about his world and the adventures he had been on. The group listened in amazement and their minds were blown away. Chapter 4 The Pendulum Ninja Meets the Fusion Feline, rough draft page. Naruto was keeping his eyes tightly closed as he is currently having a nightmare, a really bad one, since he is also having some beads of sweat on his face and clutching the blanket on his bed that was across the room next to Yaya's bed. A few days he came here, Yoko managed to get a bed for Naruto. The young blonde stood before a ruined Konoha buildings lay demolished, not a single thing remained, only destruction. The structures around him were nothing more than smoldering ash and rubble. The Hokage monument was reduced to nothing more but an empty mountain. The faces of all the past Hokage lay either on the ground shattered or smashed into nearby buildings or atop the poor souls unfortunate to have been in their path. What happened? Naruto looked around the village that he once called his home in utter horror. Laying before him were nothing but a pile of lifeless corpses, men, women, children, all dead. He searched aimlessly, hoping to find at least someone still alive in the village. What he found was anything but. And no way. This can't be real. Naruto exclaimed in sheer horror at the sight before him. It was his friends. Ino, Shikamaru, Choji, and Asuma were impaled straight through their hearts. Choji's stomach had been cut wide open, his bowels hanging loose as blood leaked from his lips. Shikamaru's arms had been severed, torn straight from his body like a child pulling off a bug's wings. Ino's eyes and lips had been sewn shut, knives embedded in her body. Hiba and Akamaru's heads had been cut off and placed on the other's body, while Shino and Kurenai hung from a noose. Ai and Lee lay on the burnt dead grass, their signature green suits ripped and torn, evidence the two did not go down without a fight. Lee's legs had been cut clean off, while Guy's hands and feet were impaled by was near an eyeless Niji who was off to the side of the falling green. His usual stoic Hyuga mask was replaced by a face of pure agony as his hands cradled his head. Tenten's the only injury was a giant sword embedded into her stomach and pinning her to the ground as she reached out towards Niji's body. What the hell is this? Naruto screamed as he dropped to his knees and gripped his head. As he became frantic, he quickly got up and ran. Soon found himself in front of the ruins of the Konoha Academy. Reduced to nothing, he sifted through the rubble, trying to find anyone who could have survived. Naruto pushed aside the boulders, only to come to the charred core of Iruka. Though his body was reduced to blackened bone, he somehow knew it was him. Just as he knew the three children were who he had been protecting were Konohamaru, Mijay, and Yuden. Iruka-sensei. Naruto said, tears streaming down his face as he touched the decaying hand of the man he had seen as his father. It can't. No. Naruto screamed to the heavens, clutching his head in agony. He soon got back on his feet and ran as fast as he could. As he did, he came across the dead bodies of the Ichiraku's. Mutilated, was slumped down against a huge hole in his chest, even greater than his own wound from the Chidori. Naruto soon came before the Hokage Tower. He walked into the building, walking past the wreckage and fallen door, weary of the cracked ceiling. Naruto, a voice called it, causing the blonde's ears to perk up. Naruto turned around and ran to the direction where the voice had come. He soon came to a large hole within the building and ran through the pathway of nearly endless darkness till he came before a large tree, but it wasn't like any he had seen before. It was enormous, rivaling the Hokage mountain in size, but what stuck out the most was it was black. Pure black from the roots and branches to the very leaves, which dripped with a strange black ooze. Naruto felt something hit his head and reached up with his finger to wipe it off. Naruto looked at what strange ink-like substance was and gave it a sniff and was taken aback. He may not have had as good a nose as Kiba, but he knew the smell of blood. Naruto, the voice called out to the young Jinchuriki once again. Naruto looked up towards the tree and couldn't believe his eyes, or rather wanted not to. Both Tsunade and Hinata were both inside the tree, naked and covered in the ooze. Hinata-chan. Ba-chan. Naruto quickly ran towards the tree, but before he could even reach them, something burst from the ooze like a geyser. A pair of crimson-red eyes glow as they glared down towards Naruto, who glared back. "Are you the one who did this?" Naruto demanded, but got no response. "It doesn't matter, let them go right now." The creature turned back to its captives and flashed a bright red light from its eyes, causing Hinata and Tsunade to sink into the ooze. "No." Naruto screamed, sitting up, dispersing the crimson aura and waking Yaya in alert. "What's wrong?" Yaya exclaimed, turning to Naruto concerned. "I just had a horrible nightmare," Naruto assured, putting a hand on his forehead. "It must have been so horrible for you to scream like that," Yaya said, and Naruto couldn't help but nod in agreement. Naruto shook his head. "Sorry for waking you up like that," Naruto apologized. Yaya waved the apology off. "It's cool. What was your nightmare about?" Yaya asked. The morning soon came and Naruto and Yaya were soon in school with Yuzu, but the young shinobi could not get the events of last night's nightmare out of his mind. Why was he suddenly thinking about his old home? And what was that strange tree and the black ooze? The image of Hinata and Swand, sinking into the dark slime, flashed through his eyes, causing him to clutch his head in pain. "Naruto, are you alright?" Yuzu asked with concern, breaking Naruto out of his reverie and turned to the girl. "Yeah, I'm fine, Yuzu," Naruto said with his classic grin, and though it did seem convince Yuzu, she could still feel something was wrong with Naruto. School lasted for 5 hours, at least Sora wasn't around making the day annoying like yesterday. Naruto, Yuzu and Yaya were now walking out of the school with Naruto wearing his normal jacket, happy to have that school jacket off again. "Yaya. Naruto. Yuzu. Naruto." Yuzu and Yaya heard Ayu, Tsuchiya and Futashi's voices. They turned to see Ayu, Tsuchiya and Futashi waving at them from the front of the school. Naruto, Yuzu and Yaya waved at them. Ayu, Tsuchiya and Futashi had excited looks on their faces as they look at Naruto, Yuzu and Yaya. "Are you guys going to the duel school right now?" Ayu asked with older trio nodding. "Yay. Does this mean we'll get to see Naruto Nison and Yaya Nison duel each other?" Tsuchiya said, excited at the idea of two pendulum users facing each other. "I get shivers just thinking about," Futashi said with a wiggle. Naruto smiled at the three kids. They were so much like Konohamaru and his friends, with how much they looked up to Yaya like they did with Naruto. Naruto then saw something strange on the other side of the street was a black cloaked person with a cloak only showing her nice legs. Naruto narrowed his eyes before turning to his friends. "You guys go without me," Naruto said, walking between the three little kids. "Where are you going?" Yaya asked. "There's something I have to do first. I promise I'll be there." Naruto then jumped from building to building as following the cloaked stranger, leaving his friends gobsmacked at his agility. "Naruto is no ordinary guy, is he?" Yuzu asked wide-eyed. No, he is not," Yaya replied in equal astonishment. Naruto soon found himself at a nearby warehouses that overlooked the sea. He looked around for the person but couldn't find them anywhere. All of a sudden he sensed the same presence behind some crates and turned to them. "Kurama, do you sense her anywhere?" Naruto asked the tailed beast. "Yeah, I can sense she's somewhere," Kurama replied before Naruto turned behind him. "I know you're behind there, you can come out now," Naruto said with a serious face. "How did you know I was here?" The figure questioned, coming out from the crates, the voice apparently sounding female. "I just took a guess," as Naruto said, not telling her about his powers. Though he could not see her face, Naruto could tell she was in no mood for games. "Are you an XYZ user?" the cloaked person said, Naruto with a serious tone. Naruto was confused by the girl's question, but then recalled the destruction of Heartland City. "Does that mean she's with Academia?" Naruto thought as he narrowed his eyes toward the girl. "Careful, Naruto, this girl's a hell of a lot stronger than your last two opponents," Kurama said, warning his host. Naruto nodded. The girl glared at Naruto. She did not like being ignored. "Answer me," she yelled in a more demanding tone. "And what if I am?" Naruto said with a smirk. The cloaked person then revealed their left arm that had a shield-shaped dual disc. "Then I challenge you to a duel," the girl said as she activated her sword-shaped dual blade. "I don't feel comfortable dueling if my opponent is hiding their face," Naruto said. The girl removed her hood as she was told she had dark purple hair tied into a ponytail with a large yellow ribbon and green eyes. She also has two light blue bangs that fold to either side of her face. What shocked Naruto the most is what her face looks like. "Yuzu," Naruto said with shock. The blue-haired girl gave him a confused look. "Yuzu? My name isn't Yuzu, it's Alina," the girl now known as Celian said. Another girl with the same face as Hinata and Yuzu, Naruto thought, staring at Selena intently. Unlike Hinata and Yuzu, Selena had much tougher and serious look in her eyes than the gentle and kind one he had seen in Hinata and Yuzu. "Judging by that dual disc, you must be from the fusion dimension," Naruto said, surprising Selena. "If you know that, then you must be an Ziz user," Selena said with a smirk. "Final, this is my chance to prove myself to the professor." Well, I have finally found you, Miss Lifer Slacker, and you're hanging around." Another ruffian A voice spoke out, making Naruto and Serena drop their stances, and dual disc stepping into was a man who wore a blue overcoat-like uniform with golden trimmings and a ruffled pink collar, shoulders, upper chest, and sleeves. He had blonde hair tied in a long ponytail with crescent moon earrings and had purple lipstick. "She a friend of yours?" Naruto questioned, causing the figure to stumble. "I'm a man," the man exclaimed in anger as a large tick mark formed on his head before turning to Selena. "The professor is losing his patience, young lady, and sent me to drag you back," the man said. "Not yet, I still got to prove myself." Selena yelled. "I'm not going until he finally acknowledges my strength." "Why must you be so difficult?" The man sighed. "Oh well, guess I'll have to take you back by force," the man said as he walked closer to Selena, putting his arms out and glaring at the older blonde. "Back off, Fukusaku Sha. Transvestite," Naruto said, causing Crowler to become red with anger, while the girl had to cover her mouth to stifle her laughter. "Why, you insolent little brat. No one insults me. Do you know who I am?" the man yelled. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. Fukusaku Sha," Naruto said again, enraging the man even more while the girl burst out laughing. The man growled, holding up his dual disc up to Naruto with a twisted grin. "Let's see if you think this is funny. You miserable rat." The man laughed as his dual disc released a bright flash of purple light on Naruto. No. Selena said with shock, she couldn't believe the vice-chancellor would go to such extremes over something as little as being teased. When the light finally died down, the vice-chancellor lowered his dual disc with a triumphant grin. That will show you what happens to those who dare to insult the great vice-chancellor of academia. Crowler taught only for his eyes to widen to utter disbelief along with Selena. Naruto stood where he was completely unaffected by the light. Naruto looked over himself for any signs of injury, but there wasn't anything. What was that supposed to do? Naruto asked while Crowler was taken aback. How can this be? Crowler exclaimed before checking over his dual disc a malfunction. No, it can't be. There is nothing wrong with the dual disc, the professor personally designed them without flaw. Selena were also equally confused why the boy wasn't carded. You? Who are you? What are you? Crowler demanded. Naruto gave a proud grin before pointing to himself. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Proud genin Konoha and student of Yugioh Duel School. And more importantly the guys who gonna kick you clown ass. Naruto declared. Selena suddenly felt a strange sensation within her and clutched her chest. What was it? What was this strange feeling that had suddenly come over her? She looked over to Naruto and she couldn't help but feel this strange presences around him. It felt warm, peaceful and safe. She had never felt like this before. Who is this boy? Selena though curiously. Crowler was looking at the boy the same way, but not for the same reason as Selena, but more about the fact that he hadn't been carded. The professor and doctor had developed a carding system and it had worked flawlessly, but here was this boy who somehow wasn't affected by it. He secretly reached into his pocket and pressed a button on a small device he had in it. Beginning scanning process. Very well then, if carding you didn't work, Crowler said, activating his dual disc, then I guess I'll have to crush you in a duel. Naruto held up his arm and as his dual disc materialized on his arm, the gem shining brightly as he took his stance against his opponent, both Selena and Crowler looked at the boy's dual disc in shock. Alright then Fukusaku Sha. Let's duel. Naruto shouted as Crowler grit his teeth in anger. Naruto. 4,000. Crowler. 4,000. I shall take the first turn. Crowler declares as he draws his card first. I activate the spell card, Magnet Circle LV2. Thanks to this, I'm able to summon a level 2 or lower machine type monster from my hand. I summon Ancient GEAR 100/100s, and thanks to its ability, I can special summon another. Crowler said as two small machines comprised of gears and cogs appeared on the field. He special summoned two low-level monsters. He must be planning to summon a high-level monster, Naruto whispered looking at Crowler, who had an arrogant smirk. Now I'll sacrifice both my ancient gears to summon my ancient gear GOLEM 3000. Both Crowler's monsters were soon engulfed in a pillar of light before they were replaced by a massive giant gladiator-like machine. Selena gasped. There it is, the legendary rare card. Selena had heard a lot about this card and how only Duel Academy's top students were allowed to possess it. I end my turn, Crowler declared. Is that all? Naruto asked, confusing Crowler. What do you mean by that? Crowler asked. All you did was bring out some rusty pile of scrap metal, Naruto said as Crowler fumed with rage, while Selena looked at Naruto like he was crazy. Oh well, Naruto said before drawing his card and smiled. First I activate the spell card, Pendulum Call. Now by discarding one card from my hand, I'm able to add two pendulum cards to my hand, Naruto said as he slots one card into his gauntlet before two cards appeared in his hand. I set the scale with Scale 1 Dragonpulse Magician and Dragonpit Magician. Naruto said as he set the two cards on his dual disc. The word pendulum flashing across the blade. Two pillars to transparent light appeared with Dragonpulse on the left and Dragonpit on the right as a giant version of Naruto's necklace swung back and forth. What? What is this? There shouldn't be this kind of summoning method in Standard. Crowler said as he watched on. I'm now able to summon monsters from level 2 to level 7 simultaneously. Naruto said as his necklace shined brightly. Swing pendulum. Swing towards the path that leads to destiny. Naruto chanted as the necklace swung back and forth. Pendulum summon. Come and join my side, my monsters, Naruto yelled, raising his hand as a portal opened in the sky and three lights flew out from the portal. Come to my side, my faithful partner. Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon 2500 2000. Naruto said as his faithful dragon appeared by his side, letting out a mighty roar. Faithful mighty mage with dual-colored eyes, Iris Magician 1500 1000. The young spellcaster swung his sword as he stood ready for battle. Sorceress of the Sky swooped down you foes with blinding speed. White Wing Magician, 1600. He summoned three monsters at once, and one of them is a level 7. Serena gasped. That's not possible. Crowler exed with shock. I activate Dragonpulse Magician's ability. If I discard a pendulum monster from my hand, then I'm able to destroy one of my opponent's monsters. Naruto declared as he slotted Odd Eyes Persona Dragon to the graveyard. Bergonpulse held up his bow creating as he gathered energy from the earth around him forming an arrow before launching it to the ground, creating a large fissure in the earth. Crowler looked on in horror as his ace monster fell down the crack before shattering. "My precious golem." Crowler screamed in terror. "Odd eyes, Iris magician, attack Fukusmsakusha directly." Naruto declared as his three monsters struck the clown man directly with their respective attacks, sending Crowler crashing into a nearby crate. The vice-chancellor was on the ground with swirls and eyes laying on the ground defeated unknown to Naruto, and Selena standing on top of the warehouse was a young man there. He had blue hair sectioned in 3 layers, his grey eyes positioned between the 3 bangs closest to his face. He wore a black overcoat with white trimmings and sharp edges, with matching pants and shoes. He looked down at Naruto with much interest, especially at the dragon he had summoned. "Naruto Uzumaki, quite an interesting guy," the boy said as a small smirk appeared on his face. "I don't believe it, he defeated the vice-chancellor in 1 turn," Selena said with disbelief at how easily Academia's top instructor had been defeated. Crowler struggled to rise up glaring at Naruto before pressing a button on his duel disc. "This isn't over, Whisker Boy," Crowler vowed as he vanished. "Alright." Naruto cheered jumping into the air with his fist raised in victory. "Hold it." Selena said as she stepped forward with her duel disc raised. "Oh yeah, I forgot about you," Naruto said raising his own duel disc ready to fight again. "I'm impressed that you managed to defeat the vice-chancellor, but don't let that go to your head. I will not fail as he did, and once I've defeated you, the professor will finally acknowledge my skills, and then I can help with our palms to unify the 4 dimensions," Selena said, while Naruto glared at her. Suddenly Selena's dual disc glowed bright, alerting Serena, forcing her to back away from Naruto. "Oh no, not now." "What happening?" Naruto exclaimed. "I'm being forced back by the professor. I don't want to go yet," she cried. "Where did she go?" Naruto mumbled in shock. Draft end. Chapter 5 Battles with LDS. A plane was flying in the sky towards Miami City, which a woman wearing a red business dress was sitting and checking a website on a tablet. She smiled at a photo of her shaking a businessman's hand until the pilot announced this woman was Himika Akaba, mother of Ryoji Akaba. "We will be arriving in the country of Miami City soon," the pilot announced. The woman looked over the city through the window as the plane landed. Then they got into a limo driving to the Leo Corporation building. "Congratulations on the successful company merger," chairwoman said a man in front of the woman, who apparently is a chairwoman of some business. "Thank you, with this one more step in our plan has been completed to make Leo present in every part of the world, to raise duelists with the great skills and power, is mine and Ryoji's plan," the chairwoman said to the guy who revealed to be Nakajima. "I'm sure the president will be very pleased with your successful acquisition," Nakajima said to the chairwoman, but. The chairwoman narrowed her eyes at Claude, but. The chairwoman questioned, curious to what her son was hiding from her. "To be honest, I had refrained from contacting you about this because I didn't want to disrupt your negotiations. While you were absent there were a number of incidents that I believe would interest you," Nakajima said to the chairwoman. "Incidents?" the chairwoman asked with a serious expression on her face. "LDS." They made it to the LDS building where the woman was at a Ryoji's office who welcomed her. "Welcome home, mother," the young man greeted, welcoming his mother's return. "Ryoji, about this new summoning method I have been told about, does that mean that new summoning method other than fusion, synchro and Ziz has appeared?" Himika asked her son. Ryoji flexed his glasses. "That's right, mother," Ryoji said, making the woman look in disbelief. Ryoji then motioned her to sit, which she did while he brought a screen down. "It was around a week ago that it appeared out of the blue. I set the pendulum scale with the scale 1 Stargazer Magician and scale 8 Timegazer Magician." He then put them on his dual disc with Stargazer at the very right and Timegazer at the very left with the pendulum flashing across the blade. Then both monsters appeared in the sky with number 1 under Stargazer and number 8 under Timegazer, with a giant version of Yaya's pendant between them. "With this, I can summon monsters within levels 2 to 7 simultaneously. Sway, pendulum of the soul. Draw an arc of light across the ether. Yaya chant as the pendant swung like a pendulum. Pendulum summon. Come forth my monster servants." A portal appeared which released 3 different lights which turned into 3 different monsters in the field with Yaya. The scene changed to the computer room with many red markings appearing in the scale of the city. High summoning reading being detected in the inner city seafront sector. One of the employees exclaimed, "Hurry up and analyze it." They then typed on the keyboards as quick as they could. "Analyzing is in progress. Summoning identified as pendulum." "Pendulum summon?" Himika questioned in disbelief. "It involves using 2 of the special pendulum cards and allows you to summon high-level monsters without releasing. This has never existed before," Ryoji explained. "It can be. Is this also that person's?" "We are still investigating on exactly how this occurred, but on the topic of performing pendulum summoning itself, through our data and analysis, we almost have a complete understanding of it." I expected nothing less of you, Ryuji. Himika smiled, knowing there was nothing her son couldn't overcome. The problem are the duelists who first used them. Ryuji pressed a button on the remote he is holding, and the screen changed to the profile of Yaya. His name is Yaya Sakaki. He is currently enrolled in an inner-city duel school, a male at the age of 14. He is in the junior youth duel class. His recorded match record is 46 matches with 26 wins. His win rate is almost 50%. Himika commented, "That's it. And he's still in junior youth class. You mean to tell me he is the one who gave birth to this new summoning method?" "He is the son of Yugioh Sakaki," Ryuji stated, causing Himika's eyes to widen. "Yugioh Sakaki? The one who vanished 3 years ago, who may have joined forces with our enemies, his son?" Himika said. "We cannot deny the possibility, or it could be the opposite," Ryuji said, confusing his mother. "The opposite?" Himika asked. "It seems last night, a member of Saotari's family was assaulted." The woman looked shocked at the news. "The one who assaulted him was a duelist who used Ziz," Ryuji explained. "Ziz?" Himika exclaimed in shock. Ryuji nodded. Saotari claims that the duelist was Yaya Sakaki. However, Yaya's record says that he never used Ziz summon. Himika had a thoughtful look on her face. "Where is the Saotari now?" she asked. "He's currently resting at the hospital. I have a suspicion that he may be faking it." Ryuji, knowing well of the young man's idiocy. "I will check into it, but before I go, I believe you mentioned that there was another duelist who can use pendulum summon," Himika said. Ryuji nodded. Yaya Sakaki was the one who gave birth to this summoning method. However, an image of Naruto's duel against Saotari appears on the screen. "I set the pendulum scale with the scale 1 Violet Poison Magician and scale 8 Black Fang Magician," Naruto declared while putting the 2 cards with Violet Poison on the right and Black Fang on the left, with the word pendulum flashing across the blade. Then the 2 monsters appeared in the sky in pillars of transparent light, with number 1 under Violet Poison Magician and number 8 under Black Fang Magician, with a giant version of his pendant between them. "Now I'm able to summon monsters from level 2 through 7 simultaneously," Naruto said as a faint version of his pendant began to swing between the pillars. "Swing pendulum of souls and carve across the ether and show me the path to victory," Naruto chanted as a portal opened in the sky. "Pendulum summon. Come forth, my loyal monsters," Naruto yelled as he raised his hand and a large portal opened in the sky. Several lights flashed onto the field in front of Naruto. Somehow this duelist also has the ability to pendulum summon. There was no proof of other pendulum cards in development, so Yaya Sakaki should have been the only one to use this method so far. "Yet this boy can also do it easily," Himika commented, looking at the screen. "We don't have much information about him, but this is all we know so far." Ryuji changed the screen to Naruto's profile. "His name is Naruto Uzumaki. He is currently enrolled in the same school Yaya Sakaki is attending, a male of age 14. He seems to be in the junior youth class. His recorded match is only 3 matches and won all of them," Ryuji said to his mother. The woman looked interested. 4 matches and won all of them. 2 more, and he can enter the Arc League Championship, the woman said, looking at Naruto's profile. "There's more," Ryuji said, making his mother look at him. "This boy is not only able to pendulum summon, he can also fusion, synchro and XYZ summon as well," Ryuji said, shocking Himika. Up till now she had only known her son to be able to perform all 3 summonings. Yes, he used synchro and Ziz summoning in his duel against Saotari and later used fusion during his second duel, Ryuji explained. Not only that, Naruto has also shown that pendulum summoning has the potential to evolve, Ryuji stated, much to the confusion of his mother. "The potential to evolve?" Himika asked curiously. Ryuji nodded. "Indeed, pendulum summoning not only allows you to summon high-level monsters, but to also use these monsters to use fusion, synchro or XYZ," Ryuji said to his mother. The woman kept looking at her son in shock before he calmed down. "Anything else about this boy?" the woman asked her son, curious about this mysterious young man. Ryuji nodded. "He is also in possession of a unique dual disc." Several screens appeared that displayed Naruto's dual disc and its ability to generate digital cards. "What type of dual disc is that? Even the Leo Corporation has developed anything like that?" Himika thought to look at Naruto's dual disc with interest. "He also possesses ability we've never seen before, such as the ability Yo create duplicates of himself without the use of real solid vision, and he can move with superhuman agility," Ryuji said as he and Himika watched the recordings of Naruto's duels against both Saotari and Sora. The LDS chairwoman looked on in utter disbelief at the abilities Naruto performed during his duels. "This information leads me to believe that Naruto Uzumaki himself may be from another dimension, other than the 4 we currently know about." "Do you think that there exists another dimension?" Himika asked with utter disbelief as Ryuji nodded, adjusting his glasses. "Correct, if that is the case I would appear there may be other dimensions other that even academia is unaware of," Ryuji said. This greatly shocked his mother. "This could prove very useful in the future in our fight against the fusion dimension," Himika said with a sly smile. Agreed, but for the time being, we have no information about where this other dimension is, or even what the inhabitants are like. However, if they possess an ability similar to Naruto, they could prove to be a valuable ally. I plan to ask Naruto about this, Ryuji said. The woman stood up. I'll go see the Saitari boy. She then exited the office, leaving Ryuji looking at Naruto's profile. The scene changed to the Yugioh duel school, with Naruto sitting next to Sora on a table that is mixing vanilla ice cream and custard pudding behind a textbook. Yaya and Yuzu next to each other on the table next to Naruto and Sora, Tsuchiya alone in front, and Ayu and Futashi on the final table. Shuzo was in front of the class teaching Naruto. "What is it?" Naruto said to Shuzo, getting up from his seat. "I said if you could tell us about XYZ monsters." Shuzo asked. Naruto sighed too before he walked next to Shuzo and looked at the class. XYZ summoning is a powerful summoning. In order to use XYZ summoning, you need two monsters with the same level and overlay them to summon an XYZ monster with the same rank as their level, Naruto explained to the class who were all taking notes. Naruto-Nisan, what do you mean by ranks? Don't XYZ monsters have levels? Ayu asked. Naruto shook his head. No, Ayu-chan, XYZ monsters don't have levels, they have ranks, Naruto said as he brought out one of his cards. Look at the stars on my star time magician. The stars are black, which means they're ranks, not levels. XYZ monster won't be affected by card effects that deal with levels. XYZ monster also has overlay units to activate their effects, Naruto said before putting his card away. What are overlay units? Tsuchiya asked Naruto. Overlay units are the monster used to summon an XYZ monster. Instead of going to the graveyard, they become overlay units for XYZ monsters to use them to activate their effect, Naruto said answering Tsuchiya's question. There are also XYZ monsters that require more than two monsters to summon it, Naruto said to the class. There are also ways to evolve XYZ monsters, Naruto said, confusing the younger students in the class, but Yaya and Yuzu looked at him, thinking they might know what he means. Naruto took out his rank up Magic King's Force. This card is known as a rank up magic card that ranks up an XYZ monster to another XYZ monster. That's one rank higher, Naruto said to the class. What do rank magic cards do? Futashi asked. I just told you that it ranks up an XYZ monster into another XYZ monster, that is a rank higher. Rank magic also lets that ranked up XYZ monster have the overlay units that the XYZ monster you used to summon that ranked up monster, and also have the XYZ monster become an overlay unit for the rank up XYZ monster, Naruto said as he put away his card and took his seat. How did you even learn to XYZ summon, anyway? Naruto Ayu asked looking at Naruto, making everyone look at him. Naruto chuckled as he sheepishly scratched his head. I learned from one of my masters, Naruto said getting everyone's attention. Really, who were they? Sora asked curious to know who had taught Naruto. I'll tell you that another time, Naruto said causing the fright for duelist to pout. You said he ambushed him. Gong's voice exclaimed surprising everyone. Yaya would never do something that cowardly. Anjanzaka? Yaya questioned standing up from his seat. Everyone ran out of the classroom to see what's going on. Naruto, Yaya and Shuzo made it outside to see Gong in front of them. What's all the fuss about? Shuzo questioned. Gong turned his head to see the group. Oh, principal. The man Ganjanzaka, was in the midst run for my leg training. I noticed peeking into our duel school 3 suspicious male figures, and when I questioned them they said Yaya ambushed someone last night. Unforgivable. He said referring to the 3 boys wearing Miami second middle school uniforms. The group looked shocked. Ambushed? I did. Yaya exclaimed. That's right, and we won't let you say you forgot. One boy said. We were there and saw you with our very eyes. Another one added. There were 4, no 5 witnesses present. The third one finished. 5? Gong questioned. Silvio, us, and her too. The third one said pointing to Yuzu, shocking the group. Naruto, Yaya and Gong turned toward Yuzu who was at the door with everybody else. Isn't that right? Yuzu Hiragi. The 3 boys said together. Yuzu looked shocked as Gong walked towards her. Is that true, Yuzu? You saw it too? Saw? What? Shuzo asked getting close to her. The face of the culprit. One of the boys exclaimed. The son of the soon-to-be mayor, Silvio's assaulter, the face of Yaya Sakaki. Huh? Yaya exclaimed. Stop lying. The 3 little kids exclaimed getting in front of Yaya with Sora beside him. Yaya would never do something like that. Tsuchiya yelled. The one who attacked first was Silvio. Ayu added, so to stop him Yuzu went to go duel him. Oh wait, the one who dueled him wasn't Yaya, but Yuzu. Shuzo exclaimed. Yeah. And her opponent was Saitari. Then that means the one who ambushed him was Yuzu. That's wrong. The 3 kids exclaimed together. The 3 boys looked dumbfounded at the principal. We just told you it was Yaya Sakaki. The first boy said. He's the one who attacked Silvio. The second boy added. I feel so sorry for the guy, he was injured so severely he was hospitalized. The third boy finished. Yaya and Yuzu looked shocked. Hospitalized? Yaya exclaimed. No way. Yuzu added. His life could even be at risk. The third boy exclaimed. If something happens to Silvio, how are you going to take responsibility? The first boy yelled at Yaya. How the hell is that idiot in the hospital from playing a card game? Naruto said with a large sweat drop. Humans can be really stupid sometimes, Kurama stated with Naruto nodding in agreement. He take responsibility, but Yaya walked towards Yuzu hoping she would help. Hey, say something Yuzu. You saw everything right? Yuzu moved her eyes away. I did see it, but… After a moment of silence, Yaya widened his eyes. Don't tell me you doubt me too, Yuzu. Yuzu looked at Yaya. That's before she finished she suddenly looked down unsurely. Yuzu, Naruto muttered. If something happened to Silvio, of course, you'd get caught. The first boy exclaimed. By the cops. The cops. Shuzo exclaimed. He then turned to the two. Explain what exactly happened from the start properly. Let me explain it to you. The group turned to see a limo with the same woman exiting out. Your LDS. Yes, I am the current chairwoman. My name is Himika Akaba. Everyone went to the school in the conference room, except for Claude, who was paying the three boys each with a card. Everything they said is the truth, Himika said sitting on the sofa in front of Shuzo, with everyone else looking on, and the fact that one of our LDS students Silvio Saotari was attacked, as well as his statement that the culprit is Yaya Sakaki, who is currently enrolled as a student at this dual school. Shuzo sighed and turned toward Yaya. Well, Yaya. Did you really? I didn't. Yaya countered. I would never do something like that. The man Gunjin's Aka, believe his friend Yaya. Gong said, making everyone turn to him. It's the same for all of you, isn't it? He asked everyone else. Of course. Futashi exclaimed. Gong nodded and looked at Yuzu. And you, Yuzu? Yuzu turned toward Yaya. That really wasn't you, was it, Yaya? Yaya sighed and turned to her back. I don't know what you saw, Yuzu, but I didn't attack Saotari. Yaya yelled. Naruto had only known Yaya for just a few days, but he knew him well enough to know he wouldn't do anything like this. Yuzu smiled. I got it, then I believe you too, Yaya. I believe you too, Yaya. Yaya turned towards Naruto, who was also smiling. I know you pretty well, despite that we only knew each other for a few days. I practically live with you now, so I know a guy like you would never do something like that, Naruto said with confidence. My, what strong bonds you have, Himika said. It seems it would be impossible for me to ask you to hand Yaya over, but we can't back down at this point. Now that statement had Shuzo turned to her. If rumor spread that a student from LDS, the world's #1 duel school, lost in a duel, it would bring forth immense damage to our reputation. But our Yaya didn't. Shuzo was interrupted before he got a chance to finish. That is not relevant anymore. The problem here is the symbol of LDS has been dragged through the mud. The only way to clear this disgrace is a duel between dual schools. A duel? Shuzo exclaimed, with the other students just as shocked except Sora, who just smiled. If your party wins, then we will ignore the case concerning Saotari, but if we win we will have you make this dual school a part of the Leo Dual School. Everyone was shocked at that. What did you say? Yaya exclaimed. No way. Yuzu said. Not only do you want to clear your name, but to take over yugioh Dual School. Gong exclaimed. Chairwoman, I have heard that you've acquired many other dual schools across the world. Am I right in saying that yugioh Dual School has become your next target? Himika only smirked. Don't tell me that you set up the entire attack on Saotari just for this. That is not the case, but it is true that I took a hold of a chance given to me, the chance to have LDS has fusion, Sayu, Ziz, and pendulum summoning. As for the pillars to support our school, Naruto and Yaya were shocked at the mention of pendulum summoning. Don't you think that up until now you've been blessed with quite an amazing gift? Principal Haragi. Shuzo looked down with the students looking at him as Himika continued using the skills and abilities of our Leo Corporation to add pendulum summoning to our LDS curriculum. There are many duelists who aspire to use pendulum summoning, just as Yaya and Naruto had the same for you all as well. Himika asked, looking toward the other students behind Shuzo. But if you don't have Yaya or Naruto's pendulum cards to pendulum summon, Tetsuya began. That can also be resolved by the power of our Leo Corporation. That is why it is necessary for us to unite, Himika said, dismissing Tetsuya's statement, then smirked. Along with that, we will be able to investigate exactly who Yaya Sakaki and Naruto Uzumaki are, she thought, looking at said two. If they are enemies of Ryuji and I, or maybe. Dueling is not a tool for fighting. Yaya exclaimed, grabbing his pendant, but I don't want yugioh Dual School or pendulum summoning is taken away by someone else. Yugioh Dual School is a dual school my father created to teach entertainment duels. A dual school that teaches the duels should be something to be enjoyed and viewed by others. I don't want to give it over to someone like you who thinks they can control anyone with their money and power. Yaya declared proudly. Bong wrapped an arm around Yaya's shoulder with everyone else but Henrietta, smiling. Well said, Yaya. I, the man Gunjin Aka, agree wholeheartedly. In order to defend yugioh Dual School, I'll fight alongside you. Gong said proudly. The large boy would gladly be doing anything to help his friend. But you're an outsider, aren't you? Sora questioned, making Gong slump. If dual school students are going to fight together, then Yaya, Naruto, Yuzu, and I should do right. I also wanted to fight against an LDS duelist too after all, Sora said, waving off Gong. To think you would exclude a man such as Igunjin Zaka. It's unforgivable. Gong exclaimed. It seems that your students' feelings are in line with each other, Himika said. Mine are as well, Shuzo said as the students gather behind him. We won't hand over Yugioh duel school. Himika sighed with a smile. Well then, shall we begin? The scene changed to the same duel field where Naruto had his first duel with Shuzo, with Naruto, Yaya, Yuzu, and Sora, and Himika with 3 different students, 2 boys and 1 girl. One of the boys is slim and tall with purple hair that has a gold pin in the shape of the Big Dipper asterism and blue eyes. He wears a zip-up blue and purple jacket over a white long-sleeved shirt with white pants, olive-colored shoes, and a loose blue belt. His LDS badge is pinned on the right side of his jacket. He also has a frame with a star underneath his hairline. The girl has a dark skin tone, shoulder-length black hair, and red eyes. She wears a small blue shirt with her LDS badge pinned on it over a cream one-piece long-sleeved shirt and shorts combination with black skin-tight shorts underneath ending above the knee, and blue boots. She carries her dual disc in a brown holster resembling that for a firearm. The other boy is a slightly below average height young teen with long spiky brown hair and amber eyes. His canines appear to be longer than normal and often stick out of his mouth. He wears a dark blue long-sleeved shirt and pants under a tan jacket with an orange interior, with his LDS badge pinned on the collar, and the sleeves were torn off, brown socks, and burnt orange and gray shoes. He also carries a wooden katana for some reason. 3 versus 3, the first who gets 2 wins is the victor. Is that good with you? Himika questioned. 3 on 3, which means only one of us has to sit out, Naruto muttered. So how do we decide who goes first and who will sit out? Yuzu asked. Naruto tapped his chin as he thought before a smile appeared on his face. I've got it, Naruto said before reaching into his pocket and pulled out 4 straws from his pocket. We'll each draw a straw, and the order in which we'll duel will be decided from tallest to shortest. The shortest one will be the duelist who sits this team match out. Sound good to you guys? Naruto asked. Yaya, Yuzu, and Sora all nodded in agreement before they each took out a straw from Naruto's hand. Okay guys, show what you got, Naruto said, holding out his straw with the others doing the same. Yaya had the longest straw of the group, showing he would be going first. Yuzu had the second tallest, and Sora, however, had an upset look on his face as he held up his straw, which was the shortest. Oh man, I'm stuck on the sidelines, Sora said with his head down. So Yaya Nissan is going first, then Yuzu Nichan and Naruto Nissan, Ayu said, pointing out the order of the duels. Well, our order's all set. Who's your first pick? Naruto asked, eyeing the 3 LDS students. The purple-haired boy stepped up. LDS's course member, Dipper. Dipper introduced. Ziz? Yuzu said, stunned. Tetsuya looked over a list on his tablet. Dual disc with Futashi, Ayu, and Gong looking over his shoulders. There he is. LDS Dipper. Ayu exclaimed. His record this year is 58 matches with 53 wins. Tetsuya exclaimed, his winning percentage is over 90%. He's got over top scores in the junior class rank testings. Futashi added. Forget test scores. I hear he's said to be favored to win the championship. Ayu finished as they focused their sight back to the group in front of them. Whether he's an ace or a potential champion is nothing to be afraid of. Shuzo advised Yaya, show him your abilities, Yaya. They're burning and hot-blooded. Right. Yaya yelled with a nod. Soon everyone else exited the field except for Yaya and Dipper, who are ready to duel. Everyone except Shuzo, who went to the control room, is currently watching over the field by the window. Our students can handle any situation, so choose whatever you like, Himika said to Shuzo. Can handle anything you say? Then how about this? Action field on. Shuzo yelled, pressing a button on the controls, making a card appear on the screen. Field magic. Cosmo Sanctuary. Activate. Use the power of the stars to fight, Yaya. Back on the field, it turned into a field in outer space with many old pillars. Dipper looked disbelieved before laughing. Of all the things, you chose the field that suits me the best. He said. What? Just looking at the name Dipper you can figure that much out, Sora commented, making the principal look stupid. I'll definitely win this duel. Yaya declared, I will win and protect you. Show duel school. Dad's dueling. Duelists locked in battle. Ayu began. Picking against the earth and dancing in the air alongside their monsters. Futashi added. They stormed through this field. Tetsuya added. Behold. This is the newest and greatest evolution of dueling. Ayu added. Action. Tetsuya and Futashi began. Duel. Yaya and Dipper finished. Outside the school, a hooded Ryuji looked on and went to go inside the building. Back in the cosmic field, both duelists, Yaya and Dipper, had their dual discs activated with Yaya's red body and yellow blade and Dipper's purple body and blue blade. They each have 5 cards in their hands as the duel began. Yaya. 4,000. Dipper. 4,000. I won't let you get yugioh duel school. Yaya yelled. Dipper only kept on smirking at him. He's quite an energetic boy, but I wonder how long he will be able to keep that up, Himika commented on the sidelines. Now Dipper, show us your abilities. Unbeknownst to everyone, a hooded Ryuji made it in the building and is watching in. Understood, chairwoman, Dipper said. I'll be taking the first turn. I summon Constellar Algieti. He declared, taking a card from his hand and put it on his blade. The female humanoid wearing an armor appeared on Dipper's side, 1600-1400. When this card is successfully summoned, I can special summon a level 4 or lower card with the name Constellar from my hand. I special summon Constellar Cos. With that, a centaur-like monster holding a bow materialized on Dipper's side, 1800-1700. Constellar Cos's ability activates. Twice per turn, this card can change the level of a card by 1. I use one of them to raise Algieti's level by 1. Cos fired a blue arrow in the sky and turned to light, which rained on Algieti LV 4-5. And I use the second to raise Cos's level by 1. Cos fired another arrow which turned to raining light, dropping on it LV 4-5. A monster effect that changes a monster's level, Naruto observed. Now he has 2 level 5 monsters. I overlay level 5 Constellar Algieti and Constellar Cos to build the overlay network. With Dipper's declaration, Algieti and Cos were enveloped by yellow lights and flew into a yellow portal which opened on the ground. When they did, a column of blue lightning emerged, surprising the yugioh students, Gong and Shuzo. Light of the stars, come descend and shake this very earth. Dipper chanted as he took a card from his extra deck zone Ziz summon. He then slammed it on the blade, which a warrior-like monster appeared, rank 5. Constellar Pleiades. 2500-1500. So that's his Ziz monster, huh? Naruto said, looking over Dipper's Ziz monster. It was impressive, but nowhere as strong as Ziz monsters his master Yuma had given him. I end my turn with that. Dipper announced. Dipper. Hand 3. If Yaya Sakaki is the one who ambushed Satori, I wonder what he will react after seeing this Ziz summon, Himika thought with a smirk. My turn. Draw. Yaya drew the top card from his deck. His eyes widened when he saw what card he had drawn. This Ison of the cards Naruto gave me. Flashback. Naruto and Yaya were in the young duel trainer's room working on their decks and getting to know each other. Hey Yaya, could I see your deck? Naruto asked, earning a confused look from Yaya before the boy handed him his cards. Naruto began to look through Yaya's deck and frowned. What's wrong, Naruto? Yaya asked. The blonde former shinobi sighed. Yaya, you'll never grow stronger if you don't develop your own way of dueling, Naruto said with a serious tone. What? What do you mean, my own style of dueling? Yaya asked with confusion. What did Naruto mean? What was wrong with the way he dueled? Yaya, from what I've seen, all you're really doing is copying your father, Naruto said, catching Yaya off guard. When I was at yugioh, I found some old videos of your dad's duels, and the way you duel is a mirror image of his. Yaya, it's good that you miss your father, but trying to be exactly like him will only hurt you. What do you mean, Naruto? Yaya asked, still not understanding his friend's words. Ever since he could remember, his father had been his hero, and all he ever wanted was to be just like him and bring smiles to the crowd with his entertainment dueling. Yaya, all you seem to be do is blindly following in your father's footsteps. Everything you do is nothing but copy what your father did, Naruto said sternly, causing Yaya to look down in sadness. As Naruto's words slowly began to sink in, Naruto placed his hand on his friend's shoulder. Listen, Yaya. I'm not trying to insult you or anything like that, it's just that you're still allowing your father's disappearance affect you. Even now you lack self-confidence in yourself, which the key to growing as a duelist. When we dueled Sora and you lost odd eyes, you froze up, and also the fact that you can't stomach it when somebody other than you is able to pendulum summon, Naruto stated, causing Yaya's eyes to widen as he recalled his duel against Satori. He was completely shocked and disappointed that somebody else had managed to pendulum summon other than him, and it was even worse when Naruto did it too, and he proved he was even better with pendulum summoning. Then he was not only had he managed to understand how pendulum cards worked, but he had also found ways to use pendulum cards to fusion, synchro and Ziz summon. I assure you were the first one to pendulum summon, and you were the only one to use it for a while. Did you really think that it would stay that way forever? It was only a matter of time until someone else can do it too. Maybe soon everyone else will pendulum summon as well. The point is that pendulum summon will no longer be granted to just you or me. You were the first one to introduce pendulum summon, so you created a new generation, and others would follow you up the steps. You should be happy for that. Everyone would want to be like you and use the method themselves. You're the only one who can lead them up to those stairs. Have you really given that thought? Naruto finished as he lowered his hand to Yaya. Yaya shook his head and no, I never even considered that before, Yaya said, having never really given it much thought. Yaya, just as your father paved the way for dad paved the way for a new generation with his entertainment duels, you'll need to pave the way for the new generation with your pendulum summoning, Naruto said while Yaya began to take in every one of Naruto's words. It wasn't that Naruto was trying to be harsh, he was just trying to help Yaya grow as both a person and a duelist. It was true that he had made it as far as he did try to make his father's dueling style his. But like Naruto said, he had been the one to open the door to a new generation, he would need to grow stronger independent from his father. Flashback end. After that day, Yaya and Naruto had spent the whole night making some new changes to Yaya's deck, adding in new cards to help Yaya out. Naruto had also told him to stop being so heavily reliant on action cards and added in some new spell and traps to better protect his monsters. I set the pendulum scale with the scale 1 Stargazer Magician and scale 8 Timegazer Magician. He then set Stargazer at the very right and Timegazer at the very left with the flashing pendulum across the blade. Then both monsters appeared in each transparent blue pillar, with number 1 under Stargazer and number 8 under Timegazer, with a giant version of his pendant in between. With this, I can summon monsters within levels 2 to 7 simultaneously. Yaya declared with everyone including Ryuji and Dipper watching. Sway, pendulum of the soul. Draw an arc of light across the ether. Yaya chanted as the pendant swung. Pendulum summon. Come forth my monsters. A portal appeared and 2 different lights came down turning into monsters. Appear. Performable turn toad 0800. A toad wearing a polka-dotted bow tie appeared surrounded by blue aura, indicating it is in defense mode. Appear. Dashing warrior, performable handsome liger 1800-400. Yaya called. The second ball of light that hit the field became a young man with long black hair tied back in a ponytail. He had on red samurai-like armor, along with a sleeveless white jacket with gold trim and a gold star on the back. In his right hand, the warrior carried a katana. Appear. Wondrous and beautiful dichromatic eyes. Odd eyes pendulum dragon 2500-2000. Yaya called. The final ball of light was a red dragon with small arms and a dinosaur-like body. Its right eye was red and its left eye was green. The dragon had a pointed yellow beak-like snout filled with sharp white teeth and on the sides of its head had a pair of long tan horns that pointed back. A small blue orb adorned the crest of the dragon's head and embedded under the white armor on its chest was another much larger blue orb. On its back was a pair of large tan curved spikes. The right spike embedded with 2 green orbs and the left embedded with a single red orb. There it is. Ayu exclaimed with excitement. The shivers. Futashi said, shaking his body in excitement. This is pendulum summon. Himika observed. You're not going to use Ziz summoning? Dipper questioned. I wasn't the one who attacked Shingo. I've never used Ziz summoning before. Yaya yelled. That's right, Yaya is fighting them for us. What good does it do if I don't believe him? Yuzu thought, sure of herself. Oh well, either way, you won't be a challenge to me, Dipper commented. Let me put this bluntly, you will lose. No, I won't, I will win. Yaya thought, determined, looking at the card Naruto had given him. I activate the spell card polymerization. Yaya declared, shocking everyone with the exception of Naruto, who smirked seeing what Yaya was about to do. Wait, Yuzu gasped. Did he just say Gonjin? Continued. He's gonna fusion summon, Sora said with a surprised tone as he watched Yaya's duel. Become one with wind, O mighty dragon, and bring forth the eyes of the storm. Yaya chanted as he brought his hands together. Fusion summon. Come forth. Ruthless dragon of the wind. Odd eyes, vortex dragon. 2500-3000. A few moments later, Odd eyes rose out of the vortex in a new form. Its body had become covered in green armor with white and gold trim, with gold lightning bolt-shaped blades running down the sides of its neck and tail. Its right eye burned red, while its left eye glowed blue. On its back were 2 pairs of gold and white blade-like wings. Unreal, a pendulum into a fusion summon. Sora exclaimed with shock. Alright, Yaya. That's what I'm talking about. I knew all that training we went through would pay off. Wahoo! Naruto cheered. What training? Yuzu asked Naruto, curious about what he meant. Naruto turned to the young pincat and smiled. During the last few days, I've been helping Yaya improve his dueling style. Just you watch and see, Naruto said, causing Yuzu and the others to focus back onto the duel at hand. Dipper scoffed. Big deal, so you managed to fusion summon. It doesn't mean you'll win, Dipper said, feeling confident knowing he could use his monster's ability to stop Yaya. Oh, we'll see. I activate Odd Eye's Vortex special ability. When Vortex Dragon is special summoned, I can return one specially summoned monster my opponent controls to the hand. And the monster I choose is your Constellar Pleiades. Yaya declared, pointing at Dipper's Ziz monster. Nice move, Yaya. Naruto cheered. Why is that? Ayu asked as Naruto explained. Since Pleiades is Ziz monster, he doesn't go back to Dipper's hand, but to his extra deck, meaning Dipper will have to Ziz summon all over again to get him back, Naruto explained, causing the kids to nod and smile at the realization. And that means Yaya will be free to attack Dipper directly. Yuzu said, worth joy. Odd Eyes vortex blows that Pleiades away. Go force hurricane. Yaya exclaimed as Odd Eyes roared, unleashing a powerful gust of the wind that sent Dipper flying and his Ziz monster back to his deck. No. This can't be. Dipper said with shock as how he had lost his best monster so easily. Handsome Liger attacked Dipper directly. Yaya called as his Liger dashed across the field and slashed Dipper. 4,2200. Vortex Dragon, attack him directly. Yaya commanded while Dipper looked around frantically until he spotted a nearby action card. I activate the action card, Evasion. Dipper announced, now your dragon's attack is cancelled. I don't think so. I activate Vortex Dragon's other effect. Yaya announced, by sending a face-up pendulum monster in my extra deck back to the deck, I can negate the activation of an opponent's card effect. Yaya announced. But you don't have any. Dipper pointed out. Wrong. When a pendulum monster is used for a fusion or a synchro summon, they go the extra deck instead of the graveyard, Yaya said, causing a cold sweat to roll down Dipper's spine. Vortex Dragon roared and fired a concentrated blade of air from its mouth. The blade hit the large version of Dipper's card and caused it to shatter apart. End this Vortex Dragon. Yaya commanded Spiral Hurricane Stream. The green dragon fired a concentrated twister of the wind from its mouth down at Dipper, sending the LDS duelist flying into the sky before landing face first on the ground. Dipper. 2200. He did it. The kids cheered as they jumped high in the sky, while Ganjin's Aka cried in I'm tears and Yuzu looked on in awe at how far her best friend had come. Yaya Naichin. Tsuya, Ayu, and Futashi all cheered at once, prompting Yaya to turn around as he walked out the area, only to see the three kids running towards him before he found himself being tackled by all of them. You gave me the shivers. Futashi praised. Yaya Naichin. Ayu added happily. Yaya. Ganjin's Aka muttered with a smile while tears of joy threatened to fall from his eyes. He then ran forward and bear hugged his best friend. Well done. As expected of the best friend of the man Ganjin's Aka. I was so moved. The tall boy cried as anime tears fell down his cheeks. Ganjin's Aka. Yaya managed to wheeze. Ganjin's Aka let Yaya go, blushing a bit. Yaya then turned to Naruto, who had a proud smile on his face. The two boys walked up to each other. Naruto held out his fist and Yaya happily bumped it. Yuzu, on the other hand, stood back and watched the scene before her, still having doubts about her friend. Yaya then looked at Yuzu with a smile. Yuzu. Yuzu gasped as she saw an image of the mystery duelist instead of Yaya. She quickly shook her head to clear her head. What is it, Yaya? Yuzu asked as her friend got up. It's your turn next, Yaya replied. I'll leave it to show duel school is riding on this, I'll definitely win, Yuzu said with a determined look in her and nodded with a smile. However, Naruto looked over to Yuzu and could sense that the girl was more trouble than she let on. That encounter with that Yaya look like is still troubling her. One should never go into battle unfocused, it'll cause her to make mistakes, Naruto thought to look over to Yuzu. Meanwhile, with the LDS group, Himika glaring at Dipper, who was sitting on his knees with a depressed look on his face. I can't believe you lost to a student from this minuscule duel school. You're making your title of LDS's course cry, Himika said, crossing her arms as she glared at the defeated Ziz user before her gaze fell on Yaya. However, the pendulum summoning truly is amazing, now I want it even more than before, she thought to got a smirk on her face. It's your turn next, the black-haired girl walked out of the shadows and bowed to her. Understood, Miss Chairwoman, the girl said before walking up to the Yugioh group. I'm Masumi Katsu, the ace of the fusion course. Sora looked at her a little interested with a chocolate stick in his hand. Oh. So that girl uses fusion summoning, huh? This should be interesting, Sora said as he placed the chocolate stick in his mouth and broke it off. Masumi took out her dual disc and placed it onto her arm and held it out, showing her determination to fight. So, which one of you will be my opponent? Masumi asked, looking over the group until Yuzu stepped forward. I am, Yuzu said while Masumi looked at her unimpressed. Well, Yuzu narrowed her eyes in order to protect Yugioh duel from these people, as well as clearing Yaya's name. I just can't lose this duel, she thought to herself. Masumi looked at her with a smirk before she flipped her hair, and Yuzu narrowed eyes even more. Moments later, both of them stood inside of the duel arena with their dual discs activated and ready to start dueling. The field that suits my cute daughter would be, Shuzo said while he was picking the field. Right, this one, Shuzo said as he picked the action field on. He said as the solid vision system activated. Crystal corridor, a corridor of mirrors and crystals appeared, and it also had crystal steps that went up in the air. Shuzo stood up and shouted to Yuzu with a smile. Yuzu. I picked a field that perfectly matches your dazzling cuteness, so shine to your heart's content. Geez, Dad. Yuzu muttered she loved her father with all of her heart, but she wished he would stop acting like a fool. Masumi said, causing Yuzu to look back at her. What was that? Yuzu said as she growling a bit. Your eyes have no luster, Masumi said, causing Yuzu to gasp. Where did that come from? Yuzu asked the LDS student. My father is a jeweler. I've seen plenty of gems growing up, ones that truly dazzle. True gems, Masumi said, causing Yuzu to be nervous a bit. That's why I can tell right now you have no shine to you. It's proof that there is hesitation in your heart, Masumi said as Naruto glared at her as she figured Yuzu out while Yuzu gasped. She's reading her like a book. I sure hope Yuzu doesn't let this get to her. Naruto thought to look over to Yuzu, who had a shaky expression. Otherwise, she's already lost. Mind your own business, this duel will prove if my heart is confused or not, Yuzu said. Yaya then with a smile began to speak, duelists locked in battle. Anjin's Aka then continued to chant, kicking against the earth and dancing in the air alongside their monsters. Yaya then continued, they stormed through this field. The kids then continued, behold, this is the latest and greatest evolution of dueling. Action. Yuzu and Masumi then yelled at the same time, duel. Both of them then drew their first 5 cards and looked at them as the action cards scattered all over the field. Yuzu LP. 4000. Masumi LP. 4000. I'm going first. Masumi said as she began her turn. I activate the magic card, Gem Knight Fusion, from my hand. This card lets me use Gem Knight monsters in my hand for a fusion summon. She's fusion summoning right off the bat, Ayu exclaimed with worry. Masumi grabbed 2 cards in her hand. The monsters I'm going to use are Gem Knight Tourmaline and Gem Knight Emerald in my hand, Masumi declared as a duo of monsters appeared on the field and took to the skies. One was a warrior clad in golden armor, while the other was garbed in armor colored in emerald green, gem tinged with lightning. Emerald of good fortune. In a whirlpool of light, combined to create a new dazzling radiance. Fusion summon. The one who pursues victory. Gem Knight TOPAZ 1800. Descending from a vortex in the sky was a warrior clad in orange armor with gold edging, and a green cape. In his hands was a set of axe-shaped tonfas. I can't believe she managed to fusion summon on her first turn, Yuzu said, amazed at what she just saw, while Masumi smirked at the girl's surprised expression. Even your dull, lifeless eyes seem to understand the true terror of hand fusion just by seeing it for the first time, Masumi said, causing Yuzu to gasp. Yuzu looked at Masumi, but still, the monster you fusion summoned has only 1800 ATK, so it's not an unbeatable monster, Yuzu said, while Masumi only smirked. Don't treat it too lightly, after all your fate will be decided based on how you deal with this monster, Masumi said as she placed her one of the into her duel disc. Now I end my turn with 1 card face down. Yuzu narrowed her eyes and grit her teeth with rage as she drew her card. My turn. You're up. I special summon Arya the melodious Diva 1600-1200. In a storm of colorful music notes, a girl with pink skin and short purple hair wearing a dark brown and peach-colored dress materialized onto the field. If there's a melodious monster on my field, I can special summon Hinata the melodious Diva 1200-1000 from my hand. Yuzu continued as she placed another card onto her dual disc, summoning a girl with lime green skin and long forest green hair wearing a blue dress. Now the concert begins. Yuzu declared as her 2 monsters began to synchronize their voices. I'm tributing Arya and Hinata for an advanced summon. Both Yuzu's monsters sang in unison as they rose into the sky. Enchanting melody that echoes throughout the heavens, awaken the sleeping virtuoso. Yuzu chanted come, Mozart the melodious Maestra 2600-2000. Emerging in a flash of light was a young pale-skinned woman with platinum blonde hair, blue eyes, and a pair of wings sprouting from her back, patterned after a sheet of music. The new monster was also garbed in a red opera dress with orange highlights. There it is. Level 8. Futashi cheered while Tetsuya and Ayu jumped excitedly next to him. It's Yuzu Onichan's ace monster. Naruto gave an impressed whistle as he looked at Yuzu's monster. Impressed? So this is Yuzu's deck, not bad at all, Naruto said. I'm not done yet. Yuzu added with confidence in her voice. Mozart can, once a turn, special summon a level 4 or lower melodious monster from my hand. Next up is Canon the melodious Diva 1400-2000. Appearing next to Mozart was a girl with violet-colored skin and indigo hair that stood up, wearing a dress in multiple shades of purple. Battle. I attack Gem Knight Topaz with Prodigy Mozart. Yuzu announced as her monster rose into the air. Graceful wave. Mozart unleashed a wave of sound from her wings that smashed into Topaz with enough force to kick up an explosion around the knight, obscuring him from VIEW. Masumi. 4000-3200. How's that? The melodious duelist goaded. This is how I'll deal with your monster. However, Masumi merely chuckled to herself, confusing Yuzu for a brief moment. I attack directly with Canon the melodious diva. On cue, the indigo-haired monster opened her mouth and unleashed a melody that brought cold air along with it, pushing Masumi back. SLIGHTLY Masumi 3200-1800. She did it. Ayu cheered. The shivers. Futashi added. Good job, Yuzu. Yaya praised his friend. I'll admit you have some skill, Masumi commented as she dusted herself off, but don't think you've won just yet. Sore loser. Yuzu retorted. Naruto looked over to Yuzu and shook her head at how wrong she was. Not only was Yuzu still unfocused with the Aya problem, but she was starting to let overconfidence get to her and letting her guard down, forgetting Masumi's face down. "You'll understand if I'm a sore loser or not during the next turn," the Gem Knight duelist shot back. Glaring briefly at Masumi, Yuzu continued. "Her turn cannon can freely change her battle mode once a turn. I change cannon to defense mode and end my turn," she finished. "Itachi no Tan. Draw." Masumi called as she began her turn, eyeing the card she drew. The Gem Knight duelist smirked. "I summon Gem Knight Alexandrite 1800-1200. On cue, a knight in white and silver armor rose up from a portal in the ground, ready to fight. "I don't like that smirk on her face," Naruto said, narrowing his eyes. Gem Knight Alexandrite's effect activates. Masumi declared, "By sending this card to my cemetery, I can special summon a Gem Knight from my deck. I summon Gem Knight Crystal 2450 1950. Seconds later, Alexandrite vanished, making way for a new knight clad in pure silver armor with crystals jutting out from his shoulders. "An ATK of 2450? Jaya questioned. Once more, Masumi smirked to herself. "Trap card, open." She said, "Fragment fusion. By banishing the materials from my cemetery, I can fusion summon a Gem Knight monster." "I had a feeling." Myon remarked. "Gem Knight decks are known for pulling this kind of thing. The fusion summon using monsters in the graveyard," Yuzu muttered. "I choose to banish all three of these monsters. Gem Knights Alexandrite, Tourmaline, and Emerald." The Gem Knight duelist continued as she pocketed the three monsters in her graveyard. Using Gem Knight Topaz's fusion materials in the graveyard as well as Alexandrite. Sarum used while eating candy. Gem with facets of day and night. Gem tinged with lightning. Brilliant Emerald of good fortune. In a whirlpool of light, combined to create a new dazzling radiance. Masumi chanted, "Fusion summon. Come forth one who illuminates all with its supreme radiance." Gem Knight Master Diamond 2900-2500. Appearing in a flash of light from within the vortex was a large, well-built knight clad in glimmering white armor lined with diamonds that glittered in even the slightest of light. Being stood up by the tip with one of his hands was a massive sword with several gems of different varieties encrusted into the black blade itself. "This is my true ace monster," Masumi proclaimed, "and now I use Gem Knight Master Diamond effect to banish the Gem Knight Topaz in my cemetery." "Banish? Why?" Yuzu questioned while Masumi smirked. "Wait, are you saying Diamond has the ability to use that effect?" Yuzu said incredulously. Myon nodded. "Once a turn, Gem Knight Master Dia is able to banish any level 7 or below Gem Knight fusion monster from the player's cemetery to gain its name and effects." "You're pretty carefree thinking you have time to look away," Masumi said, causing Yuzu to look at her and then pack at the pillar. "I also activate the spell card Gem Knight Sword and equipped it to Master Diamond. With it, he gains a 500 attack point boost," Masumi said as Master Diamond attack rose up, LV9. ATK 2900 plus 500 equals ATK 3400. "Battle, Gem Knight," Masumi said. "First I'll be attacking Fantasia made in Gem Knight Crystal," Masumi said as Gem Knight Crystal unleashed a barrage of crystals destroying Arya, causing Yuzu life points to go down, LP 4031-50. "This is the real fight. I attack Viola Fidolo with Master Diamond," Masumi said. Master Diamond swung his sword, Viola Fidolo, much to Yuzu's shock, destroying Viola Fiddle. "No way, how come Viola Fiddle was destroyed? She could have protected herself by banishing a Fantasia." "Monster in my graveyard," Yuzu said as her life points decreased. "That's because Gem Knight monsters that are equipped with Gem Sword can negate the effects of the attacking monster during the battle phase." LP 3150-2050. "One big sis, Yuzu most powerful monsters is destroyed." A yelled with worry. "Not to mention she took only 1100 points of damage," Futashi said. "No, that's wrong," Masumi said. "What do you mean?" Yuzu asked. "That's because before the battle phase started I activated Master Diamond's effect by banishing a level 7 or lower Gem Knight monster. Master Diamond gains its effect until the end of the turn," Masumi said. "Then that's why you banished Gem Knight Topaz?" Yuzu asked the tan-skinned girl. "That's right, Gem Knight Master Diamond effect. A monster destroyed by battle deals damage equal to the original attack points to its controller." "Oh no, I got to get an action card," Yuzu said as she ran to try to get an action card. Luckily she did, and she activated the card just in time. "Action magic crystal protection. Whenever effect damage is dealt with I take half the damage," Yuzu said as a crystal protected her. However, the crystal shattered, causing Yuzu to scream and fall towards the ground. Yuzu 2050-800. "It ends here. Using Gem Knight Topaz's effect, I make a direct attack with Gem Knight Master Diamond," Masumi declared as her knight charged forward again. Yuzu looked around desperately, hoping for a way to avoid her loss. Just then, she caught sight of an action card a few feet away from her. Hurriedly, she scrambled up and ran to the card's location. However, the moment she reached out to grab it, Her hand hit a solid surface that took only seconds for her and everyone else to realize what had happened. No way. It was a reflection. Yaya gasped. It's over, Naruto said with a solemn look knowing Yuzu had lost the duel from the start. To be deceived by the reflection in the crystals. Masumi mused while looking towards a bewildered Yuzu in disappointment. Your eyes must truly be clouded as Yuzu gasped in realization. Master Diamond fired a beam of light from the tip of his sword, aimed directly at Yuzu. The blast struck the melodious duelist and sent her flying back with a yell as her life points depleted 800. Yuzu? Yaya called as he ran out onto the field to check on his downed friend Yuzu. Are you alright? You're not hurt anywhere? Why yeah. Yuzu managed as she sat up. Oh, thank goodness. Yaya added, but soon found the melodious duelist crumpled against him. Hey, are you sure you're alright? Yuzu remained silent for a few seconds as several thoughts swam through her head. Naruto looked at the two with a warm smile. They would make a truly great couple if they would just stop hiding how they felt about each other. You two should just kiss and get it over with, Naruto teased, causing the two teens to blush when Yuzu finally came to her senses and pushed Yaya aside. Well, Naruto laughed. Yuzu doesn't worry about it, I said, putting my hand on her shoulder. Defeat is nothing to be ashamed of, what matters is how to get up after. That's right, Yaya added, we just need to win next duel, and that would be that. Just win next duel, the boy with the wooden sword said arrogantly, making us turn to him. You make it sound so easy. Naruto narrowed his eyes at the young man. Oh yeah, let's see about that, Naruto said, stepping up. Oh, so you're that kid who helped beat Saitari. This ought to be fun. And you are? Naruto asked. I'm Todo Yeba of the LDS Synchro Course, Yeba introduced. So, who's gonna be my opponent? Yeba questioned once everyone had convened back inside. Yaya and Aichin won and Yuzu won can lose. Tsutsaya recalled. So the score is 1-1, Futashi added. I, the man Ganjin-Zaka, would avenge Yuzu if I could, but… Ganjin-Zaka growled in frustration, but with a duel with Yugioh duel school on the line, and me being the successor to the Ganjin-Zaka dojo, I'm an outsider. Ganjin-Zaka then turned his attention to Yugioh's fusion expert. Listen, Sora. This is the moment of truth. It's all up to you. Sora just sat against the wall, licking his lollipop nonchalantly, before he looked towards the built teen. You know. I'm not really a fan of such stifling things, Sora said. If you want, you can go out for the next duel, Gon-chan. Gee, Gon-chan. Ganjin-Zaka gasped, but then it occurred to him, I can go out. While Naruto felt that their chances would be far better if he were to duel Yeba, Ganjin-Zaka looked so excited at the prospect of a duel that he couldn't in good conscience tell him to stand down. He could tell Yaya had a great deal of faith in him, so he would do the same. We're counting on you, Ganjin-Zaka, Yaya said. If you're dueling, then we have nothing to worry about. Just go out there and do your best, Naruto said in approval. Yaya Naruto, Ganjin-Zaka said with teary eyes. I swear on the name of Ganjin-Zaka dojo that I will defend Yugioh duel school, he said, motivated. Both duelists soon entered the Yugioh duel arena. Action field. So the opponent is Todo Yeba. Shuzo mused to himself. Blade. Katana. Sword. Immediately feeling inspired, the teacher pressed a button on the console and activated a field. Action field on. Field magic, sword cemetery, activate. In a matter of seconds, the scenery of Yugioh's dueling field was replaced by a vast desolate land devoid of any life, with swords of all kinds impaled into the ground as far as the eye could see. Ganjin-Zaka run. Shuzo called, use the sword graveyard to bury your opponent's blade. Aragi-san, if we win this, then Yugioh duel school will become part of LDS. Do you agree to these conditions? Himika spoke up. But if we win this, you aren't allowed to meddle with Yaya again, Shuzo added. The two adults stared at each other, reaching an unspoken agreement. Duelists locked in battle. Shuzo recited energetically. Picking against the earth and dancing through the air alongside their monsters. Himika added in. They storm through this field. Behold. This is the newest and greatest evolution of dueling. Action, Yaya and Yuzu said in unison. Duel. Yeba LP. 4000. Ganjin-Zaka LP. 4000. I'm going first, Ganjin-Zaka said as the action card spread all over the field. I summoned Super Heavy Samurai Kabuto from my hand, Ganjin-Zaka said as a samurai-like monster appeared on the field. 1000, I end my turn with this, Ganjin-Zaka said. Ah, did you really waste your move by just summoning a 1000 attack point monster? Yeba said in a mocking tone. Truly strongmen make no wasted moves, Ganjin-Zaka said confidently. Head, do whatever you want, then blockhead or no turn draw. Yeba said as he drew his card. I summon XX Saber Bogart Knight from my hand, Yeba said as he swiped his card onto his dual disc and Bogart Knight appeared on the field. LV4. ATK 1900. When this monster is successfully summoned, I can special summon a level 4 or lower XX Saber monster from my hand, Yeba said. I summon the level 3 tuner monster XX Saber Fulhomp Knight from my hand, Yeba said as Fulhomp Knight appeared on the field. LV3. ATK 1300. At this moment I activate Super Heavy Samurai Kabuto's effect, Ganjin's Aka said. When my opponent successfully special summons, I can change it into defense position, and until the end of the turn, its defense is increased by 500. Ganjin's Aka, as Kabuto switched into defense position, and its defense position increased, LV4. Def 2000 plus 500 equals Def 2500. Too bad for you, you could have defeated Kabuto if you hadn't special summoned in the duel. The one who makes needless moves will lose, don't forget it, Ganjin's Aka said. That's the spirit, Ganjin's Aka. Show him your steadfast dueling, Yaya cheered. What's this steadfast dueling crap? I'm just getting started. If there are 2 or more XX Saber monsters on my field, I can special summon XX Saber Foltrel, Yeba said as he swiped his duel disc, and XX Saber Foltrel appeared on the field, LV6. ATK 2400. He got out 3 monsters out so fast, Tetsuya said in shocked. This looks bad, Futashi said with worry. Yeba smirked. Save your surprise for after you see this, he said as he held up his hand. I choose to tune the level 4 XX Saber Bogard Knight with the XX Saber Fulhunk Knight, Yeba said as Fulhunk Knight turned into 3 rings, while Bogard Knight went inside the rings and gained an outline. Wielder of the crossed blade of light, trample over this mountain of corpses, Yeba said as a light shout through the rings. Synchro Shoken. Come forth level 7 X Saber Souza, Yeba said as X Saber Souza appeared on the field, LV7. ATK 2500. He's already synchro summoned. Yuzu exclaimed with worry. That's right, and there is still more. Where that came from. Now I activate XX Saber Foltrel's special ability. Once per turn he can special summon a level 4 or lower XX Saber monster from my graveyard. Yeba announced as Foltrel strapped his sword into the ground, creating a small fissure, as Fulhelmkite rose up standing beside his fellow swordsman. No, welcome back XX Saber Fulhelm Knight. Naruto narrowed his eyes, realizing what Yeba's strategy was already, and was a bit worried for his friend. Could this mean he's Yuzu said, only for Naruto to beat her to it? That's right, he's planning to synchro summon again, Naruto said, causing the others to become troubled, while the LDS student smirked. That's right. Now I tune my level 3 Fulhelm Knight and level 6 Foltrel. Yeba said as both his monsters jumped into the air. Fulhelm Knight became 3 green rings of light surrounding Foltrel. Let your silver armor shine. Crush the hope of all who oppose you. Yeba chanted as a pillar of light exploded behind him. Synchro summon. Come forth, XX Saber Gatmas, 3100-2600. Yeba yelled as a warrior in gold and silver armor with a tattered red cape and carrying a large broadsword that split into 2 parallel blades descended onto the field. What? He managed to synchro summon twice in one turn. Yaya exclaimed with a troubled expression on his face, but despite that, he still had faith in Ganjin's Aka and knew that his friend would find a way to turn this around. And both of them have more than enough points to cut through Ganjin's Aka's defense, Naruto said, looking over both Yeba's monsters. What's wrong? Yeba goaded, scared speechless. The man should stand firm, not panic, and not run around in an unseemly manner, Ganjin's Aka responded. Naruto couldn't help but smile, having a good amount of respect for Ganjin's Aka and determination. TCH. I've heard enough. Yeba interrupted. Then you won't mind if I go all out then. I attack Super Heavy Samurai Kabuto with XX Saber Gatmas in one fell swoop. Gatmas leaped into the air and swung his sword in front of him, unleashing a wave of power directly at the mechanical Kabuto, breaking through the latter's shield and destroying him. How do you like the cutting edge of X Sabers? I'm not done yet. Next is X Saber Souza. Yeba yelled as his other monster also leaped into the air, crossing his swords in front of his body, before unleashing an X-shaped blast of power that struck the Super Heavy Samurai duelist head on. However, despite the attack, Ganjin's Aka stood firm and kept his footing, merely sliding back a few inches until the attack CASED. Ganjin's Aka. 4,1500. Whoa, he took that attack head on, and he didn't even move an inch. He must have been through some really intense training. Naruto said, impressed with Ganjin's Aka's strength. He was certain the stocky boy would have made a great shinobi. Hot-blooded. Shuzo cheered from the control room. That's the foundation of our rival, Ganjin's Aka dojo. What are you talking about? Yeba questioned. TCH. I said one card and end my turn. My turn, I draw. Ganjin's Aka shouted as he drew his card, using an absurd amount of force that managed to kick up a small whirlwind in the process. The windows separating the spectators from the field rattled slightly. Naruto whistled, amazed at Ganjin's Aka's display of strength. Damn, that's some impressive strength. I could feel it even through the glass. Naruto thought. It's here. The standard holder of my steadfast dueling, Ganjin's Aka thought to himself. He then plucked another card from his hand and slid it onto the duel disc. When my opponent controls 2 or more monsters, I'm able to special summon Super Heavy Samurai SCALES 800 1800s. Jumping onto the field through a portal was a robot covered in armor plating of various shades of green and silver. With a golden crest on his forehead and a set of scales balanced across his back via a metal pole, and when it's special summoned I can special summon another super heavy samurai monster from my graveyard. Be reborn. Super heavy samurai Kabuto. Ganjin continued as the dark armored machine type monster from earlier returned to the field. Immovable like a mountain. I will show you the true form of steadfastness. Ganjin said as he slapped another card onto his dual disc after removing Kabuto and Scales. I tribute Kabuto and Scales to summon in defense mode Super Heavy Samurai Big Benkei, 1000-3500s. Ganjin said as his two monsters vanished, they were replaced by two pillars of bright green flames that slid together, colliding and creating an even larger pillar in their place. Emerging from the flames was a large, heavily armored robot colored in black, orange, and white, wielding a weapon that resembled a tuning fork. It doesn't matter, I don't see the point of having that big tinman of yours around if it can't attack, Yeba said. The wind without moving his course, this is the very essence of the Ganjin dojo's steadfast dueling style, Ganjin said with great pride in the teachings his father had given him, while Yeba looked at him confused. Now Big Benkei attack XX Saber Gatmas. Yeba's eyes widened in shock at what his opponent had said, what attacking while in defense mode? Yeba said taken aback. Ganjin had a huge grin on his face. That's right, Big Benkei can attack while being in defense mode, and when it does, its defense points are used during the battle, Ganjin said, while Yeba's gasped. That means Ayu said with a smile on her face while Tetsuya nodded. Yeah, 3500 against 3100, which means Big Beneki wins. Tetsuya finished as Beneki rammed his fist into the ground and an explosion split the ground around Gatmas, causing him to shatter. Yeba. 4000-3600. Alright. Way to go Ganjin. Naruto said cheered clenching his fist. Man, he reminds me a lot of Bushiroad's Naruto thought as he remembered his green jumpsuit wearing friend. The conditions for this comeback were having no magic or trap cards in his graveyard, Yaya explained. That's why Ganjin didn't put any magic or traps into his deck and filled it with only monsters. Only monsters, huh? That's the same as Lee. He never had any skill in ninjutsu or genjutsu and only could do taijutsu. Ganjin doesn't use spell or traps and relies on his monsters alone. Most people would call it a weakness, but he's made it into his greatest strength. Naruto thought to have a great deal of respect for the samurai user. The Yosho group looked on as Yeba and Ganjin duel continued on. Kid brought out another Gotems on his next turn and powered it up with an action card, forcing Gong to use Super Heavy Samurai Soulfire suit to protect his monster at the cost of lowering its def and taking piercing damage that reduced him to 100 life points. When Kid went for his second action card, Gong allowed him to grab it. Refusing to go against his dueling philosophy, Kit then used the effect of Gotems to send the rest of the cards in Gong's hand to the graveyard. Despite this, Gong was able to draw a monster that powered up the def of Big Benkei and allowed it to destroy Souza, only for Kit to revive it and call out a third Gotems. He proceeded to attack, attempting to destroy Benkei via an effect, allowing Gong to reduce his monster's def to 0 and activate the effect of Super Heavy Samurai Soulbreaker armor to wipe Kit out. Kit was able to block the damage with Saber Reflection. Well, I have an X-Saber monster in my field, this negates the effect damage and deals it to my opponent instead. On cue, a force field formed around Souza, protecting not only him but the Synchro user as well. That guy. He still had an option. Yaya gasped. Don't let this midget get to you, Ganjin. Naruto yelled, encroaching his friend, getting everyone's attention. As long as you believe in yourself and have faith in your deck, I know you'll be able to win this duel. Naruto said while Ganjin looked at his new friend with a stunned expression. He soon heard the voices of the other Yusho students begin to cheer him on as well. He's right, Ganjin. The odds may be against you, but I know you'll pull through with your steadfast dueling. Yaya said, cheering his best friend on. Good luck, Ganjin. Yuzu hollered. Ong-san, do your best. The kids cheered while Sora bit into his chocolate, earning slap upside the head from Naruto. Ganjin looked over to his friends and saw the faith that they had all had in him, and a proud smile appeared on his face as he narrowed his eye towards Yeba. For the sake of my friends who have placed their faith in me, I, the man Ganjin Naboru, will not fall. Ganjin roared with a bright fire in his eyes, while Yeba shrugged with a smirk. Ha! Whatever you say, it's not gonna matter, this duel is as good as over anyway, Yeba taunted. Another card that I sent to your graveyard? Yeba exclaimed. Ganjin nodded his head. Now, since there are no spell or trap cards in my graveyard, by banishing this card, any effect damage caused by an opponent's card effects are negated, Ganjin said as the soul of Big Bang appeared on the field and absorbed the damage. Yeba gritted his teeth, frustrated. You actually negated the damage I reflected back at you? He couldn't believe that he had such a tough time taking Ganjin down. Banjin's Aka got a smirk on his face, and that's not all, now it destroys every monster on the field, and then both players take 100 points of damage times the total level of all monsters that were destroyed, Ganjin's Aka explained, causing everyone gasped in shock, while Yeba got troubled. Say what? The total levels of all monsters are 33, Yeba said as his eyes widened. Banjin's Aka looked at him while his smirk grew bigger, which means that both of us will take 3300 points of damage. Soul Big Bang finished absorbing all of the damage, and then he exploded and destroyed Souza and the two Gotems, as well as Big Bang K, sending both Yeba and Ganjin's Aka flying to the ground, Ganjin's Aka and Yeba. 100-3000. Banjin's Aka. Yaya called out as he ran into the dueling field and knelt beside his friend. Are you alright? I'm sorry, the super heavy samurai duelist said as he sat up. Even with my steadfast dueling, I couldn't beat him. What are you saying? Yaya queried. Yeah, it's thanks to you that we managed to get a draw, Ganjin's Aka, Naruto said as he and Yaya helped him up. Chairwoman Akaba, you said that you would take this school if you won 2 out of 3 duels, but the result was a draw, so I kindly ask you to leave, the principal said through a microphone. What are you saying? This whole duel off was to settle the score. As such, there can be no draw. Himika said with displeased look. But, the match ended in a draw, though. Then, let's have a tiebreaker, Himika suggested, ignoring Shuzo's words. The duelists from each school who had a win will fight against each other and settle this. You can't, principal began speaking, but Yaya approached with goggles over his eyes. However, at that moment Naruto stepped in front of Yaya. What are you doing, Naruto? Yaya asked confused. I'll duel next, Naruto simply stated. Maybe you didn't hear, Himika said bluntly. Only duelists that had 1 win each can duel to settle. Since you didn't even participate in a duel, you don't have any right to. Who said that I will duel her? Naruto cut her off while pointing at Masumi. What do you mean? Who else would you duel? Himika asked with narrowed eyes. I'm talking about the guy who's been hiding in the corner since this little contest began, Naruto said as everyone looked on with confusion before. All of them saw how a teenage with a hood appeared. He then pulled off the hood and it revealed the face of Ryuji Akaba. Mother, I would appreciate it if you let me handle things from here on, Ryuji requested. Ryuji? Himika gasped, surprised to see her son, but it soon turned to a smile, knowing very well this was theirs. Very well, do as you wish, Himika said as she consented to Ryuji's request. As her son stepped forward, he and Naruto locking eyes, as both duelists prepared to settle the match between Yugioh and LDS. What if Naruto was Supreme King in Yu-Gi-Oh! End here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.